Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by One Who Parks on Discord.
This is Jeremy, I go by just Jeremy. We are still hiring at my job. If you would like, please contact anyone on our podcast. We're hiring, and anyone, just anyone,
Please.
for the love of
Please.
God, help. And
this is Aaron. I go by Treffinwood on Discord.
Do you have two hands and a strong desire for money? Please contact Jeremy at justjeremy@gmail.com.
Kill me.
I just need
Please
your
kill me.
hands.
Just kill me.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Legs not needed. You don't need
Legs not needed. You can sit on our fucking robot. He can wheel your ass around. I don't give a shit.
I will duct tape you to the robot.
Welcome back to another exceptional podcast. Let's see, quick announcements today. If you haven't heard, we have a Patreon channel, link in the show notes. We also have merchandise you can check out via mewsonstore.com. Link is also in the show notes. Parker, you did a bad thing.
It's all relative, really, but go ahead.
I mean, it is relatively bad. It's not nearly as bad as a single bet you've ever made. However, we're going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Parker, you are now down to 2,597 probationary episodes.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
For anyone who's not aware, Parker is only penalized probationary episodes when he does things that are not approved by the podcast. That includes saying specific words or not showing up.
I feel like I need that in writing, because I feel like I've gotten episodes for other reasons, but sure.
It is the podcast policy to never put anything in writing.
That's true.
So we're going to move on.
That's a double shaved head bet.
I totally forgot about that second rule.
The second rule.
That we never write down rules.
The podcast policy is to preserve the right to change the podcast stance at any time for any reason. All right. So anyway, Parker, what we got?
Oh, we have news.
Hey,
news! Yes. News!
I feel like that isn't substantiated.
Well, this news is, what would you call this? Like, used news, I guess, because it's been out for a bit.
Well, personally, I feel like our news was supposed to be cooked by Jeremy, and his staff let us down by not existing. Mm-hmm. So this has been sitting in the freezer for a bit. It's got a little bit of freezer burn on it.
Another way to look at it is
it's all we got.
Another way of looking at it is this was brought by a robot that had bad navigation, and so it's just now getting to us. But
the pile of cards was on the robot's tray.
Yeah.
It's just been running laps around dining room table 7 for like the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope you enjoy it, because it's the best we've got.
It's fixed now. Yeah. We're good to go.
The important thing is that we're not going to do better, even though we could. But anyway, with that, Parker, what are we reading first?
So these are mini extravaganza releases that are not going to. These are not the errata for old cards for characters that already exist. These are all new ones that are coming out in the future. Not precisely sure exactly when, but sometime either before the end of this year, or very spring quarter of the next year. So the first ones on our list are the ones coming in the new Rivals pack between King T'Challa and Killmonger, Usurper. King T'Challa is now a 5-threat Black Panther as opposed to his old 4-threat. He has 7 health on both sides. He has 4s across the board in his defenses, and he moves long at size 2. Still moves long. He's got a cool new attack called Vibranium Spear. It's now range 3 with 6 dice. Energy, he does gain power for all the damage he deals. If the character that he's targeting is within 2 of him, he can reroll up to 2 of his attack dice. If they aren't, then he can move them, if they're size 3 or less, towards him short. So this is very similar, if not identical, to Magneto's attack. But Magneto gets to reroll all your dice. He only rerolls 2. But the second
he has
part,
a max size push as well.
Okay, so Magneto can do anybody. He can do only. Okay.
So what do you guys think about his builder and his base stats?
I think you need to skip 3 down and read Bound, and then we can talk about his builder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Bound.
Okay, so just base stats then. What do you guys think about base stats?
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, holy shit, this guy is tilted hard.
He's pretty comparable to Thor, except that he's speed long instead of having extra hit point But yeah, I mean, it seems like a solid brick.
Like, I don't know what else you want from a 5 threat, right? 7 health,
Mhm.
move long, 4/4. Like, fucking ship it.
You're not supposed to, in my opinion, you're not supposed to have 7 health 4s and long. That's unusual.
The long is definitely the outlier for 5.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty standard, honestly. Like
Mhm.
14, 15 hit points is pretty standard. The 4s, like not having a weakness is nice, but usually we see a little something. Jeremy, do you have any thoughts so far?
Just hearing the builder is pretty strong, along with those stats.
Cool. All right, Parker, let's hear the rest of his kit.
His spender is range 2 with 8 dice for 4 power. It has a wild throw, medium if the target is size 3 or less, and then he can advance medium after he does so. He is a Wakanda affiliation leader, much to my chagrin. They keep printing them. This one's called Strength of the Ancestors. Once per turn, when an allied character pushes an enemy character, if that character contacts a terrain feature during the push, it suffers 1. So basically, it kind of turns pushes into like you're being thrown into something. You do take 1 damage.
Yeah, the other thing doesn't suffer the collision, but absolutely, it turns a push into a throw effectively.
Right. For only the character that's being pushed.
Only for the target.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not. It is specifically not a collision, so anything that reduces collision damage, this would bypass. He also has Bound, which is an interesting kind of change to Leap. He doesn't throw himself anymore. Instead, for 3 power, he places himself 2, and then his Vibranium Spear attack adds 2 dice to his roll. So think of it kind of like the Miles and Amazing Spider-Man place. Only this one only places 2, and it increases the spear attack by 2, like the others do. He has Royal Rebuke, which is a reactive power, costs 2. After attack carding this character is resolved, if the attacking character is within 3 of him, then you roll 4 dice and roll crits and wilds do damage. So this is very similar to Counter-Strike, only it's range 3 instead of range 2, like several Counter-Strikes.
Counter-Strike's range 3.
Oh, it is? I thought most of them were range 2. Then I misread them. Finally, he's the first new model with Ghost Rider's passive. When another allied character is dealt damage by any enemy effect, he gains 1 power. Sorry, yes.
Heart.
Okay.
Heart.
He gains 1 bit of hope.
Yeah, let's just start in leadership. What do people think of his leadership?
Lower tier. Not without uses and not useless. I guess that's very synonymous. But if I had to pick like an average leadership across the board, this would be below that. I'll expand. 2 reasons. 1, you have to have specific models to take advantage of it, which is not impossible. Although the thing that really upsets me is that when you think of people who push in Wakanda, Jeremy, who comes to mind?
Black Panther.
Uh-huh. Yep, Panther and Shuri. And one of them can't fucking use this. That just kills me. Anyway, the second thing is they have to contact a terrain feature. I really think it should have been terrain feature or model.
Yeah, I think they should just said if the movement is stopped or something along those lines.
Right. Because against a team that's throwing terrain, like, there's not going to be a lot on the board, period, much less where you're pushing people. So that's the negative. The plus is if you get it set up right, and I've played against this leadership once, and Shuri quad pushes you, and yeah, that's just super bad. Sorry, she pushes you twice, which ends up with 4 automatic damage.
Assuming she deals damage with the shot.
Correct. You're assuming she does 1 damage with the 6 dice.
You can also Spirit Wakanda, and she can effectively deal 6 damage in a round.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh no! Sorry, it's once per turn.
Oh.
Yeah, she can only do 3.
This leadership is bad.
Never mind. Okay, this is actually really bad.
Yeah.
This
is Claw 2.0. Yeah, we're moving on.
Yeah, this leadership is not
gets
yeah. Edit out everything
leadership gets an F for only in friendly games.
I would say the only way you could look at this, and maybe I'm wrong, but if you really value auto damage like once per turn, like with models like Juggernaut, who tends to do maybe 1 auto damage during his turn, then this is kind of makes everyone on your list that can push similar to that. But if you're like, I don't have a lot of value in that, then you're correct. This doesn't have a lot of value. But if you love things like auto damage, then it does auto damage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving past that, Bound is clearly good. I mean, mobility plus damage is clearly a good thing. Do you think it puts him in line with other 5-pointers for damage? Anybody?
Yes. No one else is going to go. I will.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk.
Well, when you said
okay.
exactly 5-pointers for damage, my when you said that, I went, okay. I immediately started just like checking it as fast as I could against other 5-pointers, and his basic is stronger than a lot of 5-pointers. I don't know if his whole kit does as much damage because he can't throw unless he does his spender. But if his basic gets him 4 power and then he can do his spender, he should be doing just as much damage, if not more, I think.
So yeah, it puts him to an 8-dice builder with 2 rerolls if he gets to range 2.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty good. He can also do the Vibranium Spear to clear off points. You can place out of range, do an 8-dice attack that pushes. Like, he seems to be very flexible, which I like.
Yeah, so the playstyle that I don't like, unless I'm playing it, is Spirit of Wakanda. So, King T'Challa could end up with 3 power to start the game. Look at that. Bound costs 3 power. So you move long, you place, and right off the rip, you're attacking past the midline at 8 dice, reroll 2.
Noticeably past the midline because he's range 3.
Yeah, but you need to get the rerolls, need to be within range 2.
Sure, but pushing isn't irrelevant either on the first turn.
You are correct. I'm more worried about my character just fucking dying, despite the fact that I'm sitting like Toad, hops up, grabs an extract at quote unquote safe distance until King T'Challa's across from him. And I haven't actually measured that out, but somewhere close to that is his range 2 reroll range. Yeah, it's a lot.
I understand that everybody wants to do the 8 dice with 2 rerolls, but if you look at it in the reverse for a second, if he places to just barely tag you at range 3, it's 6 dice with 2 rerolls, 8 dice attack followed by a 6 die attack with 2 rerolls, which makes his damage a little bit more consistent, but also is effectively extending his effective range. Because if you are only considering him being deadly within range 2, you have the place range 3 for effectively 2 8 dice attacks, which is very efficient still.
Sure. I mean, compare it to New Cable, right? Who just came out with 5 dice reroll 2 effectively as his design model. Now to that you'll add a terrain throw. So, I mean, he's putting out better dice than Cable is, I think. And just like Ghost Rider's ability, like you can't just ignore him because you kill the team, he just gets powered up and he's able to, I mean, heaven help you if he can bound, put 8 dice reroll 2, followed by a spender every goddamn turn. Because he's gaining power off of his builder, which is doing insane amounts of dice, and every time you hurt his team. So I'm concerned that he will be game warping in the same manner that like Thanos is. Like when I see Thanos across the table, it's usually like nothing matters but killing Thanos. Like if you see King T'Challa, I think you just have to kill him.
The good news is he is killable.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't have his stupid armor. I'd rather see this guy than that stupid armor that he has with the other one.
Yeah, I'm actually in the same boat. I think he's good, but I would rather see him than Black Panther 1.
I don't disagree. I was just talking about all the good things about him. I totally understand he does not have the count spell.
Yeah, this guy will blitz your ass and kill you, absolutely. But then at least you can kill him back.
Yep.
This is maybe the best 5-cost assassin model we've seen. Because he's very mobile. Well, he's not very mobile, but he's very fast. Like, speed long plus a place 2, attacking at range 3, doing extra at range 2. This guy can get somewhere and take somebody out pretty easily.
I mean, how about a spender followed by a bounce followed by a builder?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I think he's both mobile and fast.
Yeah.
Normally, models like this have to choose, and he doesn't have to. He's going to have the power. He's going to have to. You can't, like you said, you can't just let him be and hope he never builds it. Like, he's not like a Saber Apex Predator. You're just like, well, if I don't touch you and you never roll well, you'll be no threat. But this guy, you're like, he is a threat. He will be there. He will attack. He will do damage. So what can you do to make sure he's not on the board doing that?
Yeah. I don't think he's
You just
oppressive.
gotta kill him.
Yeah, he's not oppressive because you can kill him, but I am scared to see what tactics cards come with him.
I do want to point out to you guys, Defender of Wakanda is much, much better than Ghost Rider's ability.
Yeah.
Because this is not attack.
Yeah.
It is effect.
Yeah.
So if you do an attack that throws somebody, both of them trigger because they're separate instances of damage.
And if it was based off an attack that threw, he would gain 3 power, just like A-Force.
If you threw somebody into another ally.
Like if you have a before damage is dealt throw, yes. You could end up gaining 3 power off of the one attack that your opponent made. Like I said, I'm scared of him having, 10 power every time he activates and just murdering the world with it.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely going to have power. That's the thing. Because you can't ignore him because he gets too much power on his own. So he's going to have probably 4 power by turn 2 when he activates.
Or more.
Or more. Yeah. So definitely good on the damage, good on the mobility. He is kind of a loner. He doesn't really help anybody else. And he just wants to get in there and fight. So...
But he has definitely got a glass jaw.
Not really a glass jaw, but yeah, he doesn't have like the survivability backup that a lot of those 5-pointers have. Like he feels kind of like Thor to me because Thor has a little bit more utility than he does, but where this guy's just 100% in on the damage. But yeah, I think that's where he's at for me is Thor.
He's Thor without Odin's. I mean, Odin's is key to Thor, I think.
Yeah. Well, also the leadership. Like, these are 2 leaders, and, like, Thor has a good leadership. This guy has a bad leadership.
Yeah,
he has more damage, but no board control, no debuffing, nothing. He's just trying to kill people.
I mean, he pushes and throws, but sure.
I think he kills pretty fucking well, but that's all he does.
Yep.
Yeah, but Thor can just, like, walk up and throw Malekith, right?
Yep. It's
maybe
good.
3 times.
I mean, every character has a role, and it's a little bit different with everyone they make. Like, I'm not displeased with this model design, like the rule set.
You guys ready for his friend who comes with him? His frenemy? Killmonger, Usurper. Injadaka has a stat line of 4-3-4 in his defenses. He has 6 health on both sides. He is 4 costed, size 2, medium move. His vibranium weapons come back, but they are a little bit different. They are energy still, range 2, 5 dice. He gains power equals the damage dealt, and a pierce, which I think his old ones are range 3, right?
They're exactly the same, yeah.
Oh, it's exactly the same? Oh, I thought the old ones were range 3.
Nope. His spender's range 3.
Okay. So no, they're precisely the same as his old ones. Covert Armament, that's new. It's a range 4 attack that gains 1 power with 4 dice. If the target character is within 2 of him, it cannot modify its defense dice during this attack. This actually comes up a couple different times on his kit. Kililuna's Fury is his spender, range 3 with 6 dice. For 3 power, you add dice to the attack roll equal to the character's current damage. This character's current damage. So as he takes damage, Kililuna's Fury gets more dice. The target character cannot modify its defense dice during this attack, same as the other one if he's within 2. This one ever. So in best case scenario is he could do 11 dice with this if he's only on 1 health.
I mean, worst case scenario, he can, no matter the cost, spender ASM turn 1 for 9 dice, no mods.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. Kacha!
He can also do something like if he already has some damage on him, he could use no matter the cost at the correct amount that he needs to be on 1 if he wants to do 11 dice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really effective way to use health as a currency.
I just know that I am sick and fucking tired already of ASM diving my points turn 1 in the past week and a half. So,
what about them diving your models?
That's fine, but
I actually
no model should be like, I'm gonna double move turn 1 to be range 2.5 from all of your models and just give you the fucking finger.
I actually come to think of it, the no matter the cost is really doubles down to this, because if you start the turn with 4 power and 3 health, you can just do 2 spenders, both with 11 dice. That's not hard to do. That's really cool.
Yep. Let's finish out his kit.
He has a new affiliation, leadership for Wakanda, Strength of the New Generation. It's similar to Wing It, in that during the power phase, you can choose three allied characters to get herb tokens. When the character is attacking, which doesn't necessarily have to be during their turn, but when they're attacking, they can spend their one herb token to gain 1 die to its attack roll, the single one it does. At the end of the round, if there's any herbs still left on characters, you remove them all. For any character that gets one removed at that time, they suffer a damage and gain a power. He has Pounce, which is the same Pounce as we've had before. He throws himself short for 2 power. Untamed Force. After an attack targeting this character is resolved, he can, if the attacking character is within 2, he can immediately do a Vibranium's Weapons attack targeting the attacker. So basically, he gets to attack back for 2 power with his base.
Same as Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Cool. So you cannot choose to not do his leadership, I believe.
It says up to 3, so you can choose not to.
Okay, up to 3. Yeah, I was looking for the May and I didn't see it. Gotcha. Okay, that helps. Pounce is pretty standard.
Like I mentioned, if you wanted to, if you have a retaliatory strike, including him, for example, so you could use his. If he gave himself an herb token, he could use it when he untamed forces someone, if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So built-in synergy there.
Interesting. He's very samey to the original Killmonger, in my opinion. Usually they make them more different. Considering it's the same point cost, he just seems slightly different. So you give up charge for counterattack.
And, charge for Pounce, right? You exchange charge and Pounce.
Kind of, yeah.
Pounce should be better some of the time, but not all the time.
It's better if you're already there. It's definitely worse on the first turn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he seems fine.
Having played a lot into Web Warriors recently, the can't mod dice on 2 of his attacks is a significant selling point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not unconvinced that you run him and the old Killmonger, or pick your 4s, and he is a tech piece into certain rosters.
He would enjoy Magneto's magnetic fraction not working. He would enjoy that kind of thing.
Yep. The Spender is pure gas. I love the Spender, and I think that's why you run this character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the leadership for a second? How strong? So first of all, I want to talk about the second clause. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I mean, I understand the mechanics. I don't
goal,
understand why it even exists.
It's only a goal if you're trying to generate extra power. So you could intentionally give out tokens to characters you just want 3 power on the second turn. I think it's actually like an intentional choice you make. Not like oops, I forgot to attack. Like, I don't think that's supposed to be there, but
so
I think it's there specifically so you can go like, oh, I have Black Cat. My Black Cat's going to have 3 power on turn 2, and you're going to have to deal with that. And there's just nothing you can, like, let's go.
I like it.
I'll just pay a health to have 3 power.
Or healing factor characters. Like, we're just going to power up all of them with these herbs turn 1. They'll all heal the power when they activate turn 2, or heal the damage, rather.
Yeah, I mean, that works.
Okay.
It is fine, I think. I think the leadership is bad. 1 attack die around is, it's just worse than winging it, unless you think that the gaining a power thing is super good.
It is definitely worse. I'm not sure how much worse.
I think it's pretty substantially worse. So just from the attacking point of view, 2 rerolls after seeing the dice versus 1 extra die before seeing the dice is noticeably better. Like, so if you count the extra crit chance, it's like 0.4 damage. Wait, hold on. 0.4 damage for the extra die, or per die. Where am I?
1 die has to be greater than... Oh, are you...
Because it's 2 rerolls versus 1 extra die.
Sure. The extra die...
Yeah, so you're only looking at the chance of that die critting, but you also have to make the decision before rolling. So if you have an effect that modifies all dice in your pool, like Dark Rain, it's good, but that's the only time, and they don't have that in Wakanda. And so...
it's really good in the people who you can't mod into. You're attacking Black Cat or Angela, right? If you can't mod your dice, it's much better to add.
Sure, in those very specific examples, It's clearly better, because 1 does nothing.
Yeah.
the only thing I'm seeing, like, the effective benefit is almost twice as good. It's like 95% better.
I will buy that. What I really buy is the fact that you don't have to choose. You have knowledge with the other one. So solely choosing after is way better, because you can choose when they blank out, or you can see, oh, I'm going to leave you on 1. I'll spend it. And it's like, in this one, it's more like X-Force leadership, where it's just like, just 1 more sometimes, like, whatever. So I guess here's where I question your assessment. The fact that it is worse than Guardians, does that make it bad? That's my question.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Guardians leadership is bad.
Well, then this would be trash. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Guardians leadership is not worthless, but like, you're primarily playing Guardians, in my opinion, because of the package, not because of the leadership. As where like Storm is kind of the opposite. It's like you're playing Storm leadership because Storm leadership was really good, and now that's changed a bit, but it's still strong. But we're only talking about the effectiveness on attacking. It doesn't work on defense, and it doesn't work on dodges. Like, it's way worse than Guardians leadership.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Not to mention, like, let's say you had a character and, like, you got staggered in the middle of the turn and thrown away. Now you just take a damage, there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe you get dazed in the cleanup phase. It's not the end of the world, or maybe you just take an extra damage. Like, there are times that you're just not going to get to attack.
Yeah.
Also, you could spend the herb token to add a die to the attack, and they could cancel the attack with stuff like Lifesaver.
That I don't think it does.
Does it not?
What
does it add?
It says add 1 die to its attack roll. It doesn't say when you target. So I think it's
while a character with an herb token is attacking, it may spend a token to add 1 die to its attack roll. Okay, so it would be after the targeting step.
It's the dice creation step. Dice pool creation. So that's good.
That's true. So you can't cancel it.
I can get on board that it is below the power curve.
I mean, it's definitely better than Black Panther's leadership.
1,000%.
Yeah. I don't know that it's better than original Black Panther's leadership.
1,000%.
1,000% better. You're saying this is 1,000% better, or Black Panther's leadership is 1,000% better?
I'm being facetious saying that this is better. Only for me, because I hate Black Panther's leadership.
I understand that you don't like it, but as from just a power standpoint, I think Black Panther is still better. Which is bad, right? Like, 2 new leaders that both have garbage leaderships. What do we think overall as Killmonger?
I was just going to mention that I don't think you guys are totally off base with Wakanda, the strength of the new generation, but I do like his leadership for one reason, which is, unless you forget it, Aaron, it will happen, right? So
that's true of every leadership.
No, it's not. Like, there are lots of leaderships. No, I have played Sin. It's possible for Sin to never happen. Like, there is a function in the game that allows her leadership to never occur. So even if you don't forget it, it's possible for it to never occur. Storm's leadership. Now, I've already played a game of the new Storm leadership. Now, the character, he could have better organized his models to make sure to leap, but no one ever made an attack outside of range 2. It's just possible for that to happen, and I don't think that's in a crazy corner case. You will get to give out 3 tokens. They will add 1 die each, or give you a power and a damage. I think I value any leadership that I'm sure will happen, that I don't need to pick particular models. I think you absolutely get better with healing models, like Aaron intimated. I think you also get better if you want to use the token for an attack die. I think it is better if your model counts skulls, or if your model can reroll dice, if you can make each of those dice, stickier somehow. So I actually value Strength of a New Generation more highly, because unless you never attack, you'll still get a damage, which you actually get a value out of it. A damage and a power, sorry. And it will happen. Not just because you forgot to make it happen. It will happen because you're rolling dice, you're playing the game. There's not a circumstance in which your leadership doesn't work.
So I understand that if you're playing Storm leadership, your opponent can make the choice to never make an attack against you outside of range 2. But that is literally the leadership doing something. It's forcing your opponent to make a decision that is arguably bad to circumvent your leadership.
Well, no.
And on this one, I just want to say real quick, on this one, if you actually do forget to use it, it's actually worse, because it penalizes you for forgetting. Because you could take damage because you forgot to add a die.
Oh, I was debating like you forgot to put the tokens out in general, which sometimes happens because you just forget to use the leadership. Not that you forget to use it. I suppose there is a case in which you don't want the damage, but I'm talking about if you're using it. You can use it strategically with healing models, right? You could use it. You could use it strategically to make a better damage dealer better. I think this is a better leadership than any one of those that says roll a dice to make something happen, or in this very particular circumstance, you can spend a power to make something happen. I think this is much better than those because it passively gives you something that you're going to use during the game no matter what. So I think...
Okay, so I just want to make sure. So it's better than Sin leadership. I think we all agree with that. Sin leadership is pretty bad. Whose leadership are you talking about? That like
I think it's better than Baku's.
Okay. Aaron, do you want to go or
I can't. I just can't.
You look triggered.
So I let's just move on to something a little different about this.
Okay.
So the one thing about both of these models that has to be included is what happens when each one of them attacks 3 times in a turn. I think that changes the dynamic on both of these models, and it like changes everything around entirely. It's like, yeah, their leadership is this, and they do these things, but what happens when they attack 3 times instead of the normal 2? Wakanda Forever is a dumb fucking card. Like, both of these models are going to be enhanced by that, completely insane because of Wakanda, and their Wakandan models. So with that, they're going to be interesting and fun. So
I have a
that's my opinion. Go ahead.
A final thought. These models are neither trash nor overpowered broken. I think they would be fine to slot into Wakanda. They're not going to change fundamentally how Wakanda plays. I'm happy for Wakanda to get 2 new models who may or may not have leaderships you want to put on the table. End of discussion. For me.
Okay.
I was getting ready to add one thing, but then you said end of discussion.
I said for me. I didn't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. My restaurant is hiring. I just need to make sure everyone knew that.
Yeah, we know.
God rest my soul.
I think these 2 leaderships are probably the worst of the 4. But I think Strength of a New Generation is definitely the most comparable to original Black Panthers. And I don't think it's bad. I just think it's limited. I think if most affiliations said that you get to basically add 3 attack dice around, it's not bad, but it's definitely the right home about. It's decent. I don't think if the thing you thought you needed was 3 more attack dice in a round, I think you're doing fine. So, all right, what is next, sir?
Next, we're going to jump over to some mutants. The first mutant we're going to talk about is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a bag of movement tech. He's 4 costed. He has 6 health on the front side and 5 health on the back. Otherwise, he's identical, with 4 physical, 3 energy, and 3 mystic defense. He has a teleporting strike. It is builder, range 3, 5 dice. He has a special effect called Ha Ha, which I think is beautiful. After damage is dealt, if he is not within 2 of the target character gains stun. So basically, if you're attacking with outside of 2, but within 3, because that's the range, they are stunned after damage. He also has Brimstone Blitz. It is a 1-cost spender, range 2 with 5 dice only, but you do add dice to the attack equal to the number of times this character has been placed this turn. So if he uses all of his place effects in different ways. He does have on a crit and hit, it does gain Flurry. You make an additional attack action, any action, but it must target the targeting character. So if you have another power, you can use Brimstone Blitz again. You do not need to use Teleporting Strike. Unlike with some flurries automatically default to the basic attack. This one you can use the Brimstone Blitz a second time.
Cool. What else we got?
He has the ability called Bamf. His trademark teleportation. He spins between 1 to 3 power. You place him within that much distance where he is currently. You can only use that once per turn. He also has Puff of Smoke, which is a 0 cost. When this character makes an attack after damage is dealt, you can use it immediately to place within 2 of the target. Then he has Ungenblick Acrobatics, which is 2 costed. When this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack or makes a dodge roll, he can add 2 dice to his defense or dodge roll for 2 power. And then finally, Invisible in Shadow. While this character is within 1 inch of a terrain feature of size 2 or more, characters must be within 3 to target him. So it's another one of those stealth, not stealth. So anything that ignores stealth specifically doesn't work against it, but it's conditional on him being close to terrain. He's also a wall crawler.
That seems relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever come to a conclusion on like the most dice he could roll with his brimstone, assuming, or the first brimstone attack?
I don't remember it.
So
Like
he can place himself one with Vamp.
Yeah, so the expectation was we were playing an X-Men Gold, so he's going to Storm Hop, Puff of Smoke after the first attack, use his Bamf, that's 3, and then so the first Brimstone Blitz is going to be a 1-cost 8-dice attack that had cost him a grand total of 3 power, because 1 for the Storm Hop, 1 for Bamf, and then 1 for the Spender. And then if you hit the Flurry of Blows, each one costs you 1 more and adds an additional die.
However, every single time he attacks, he can Puff of Smoke again, because that's any time after damage is dealt, he may disappear.
Yeah, so that's why it adds 1 more die.
Right. So if he keeps flurrying and puffing, then he keeps adding more dice. Yes, but he does have to spend 1 each time he does if he wants to keep using.
Yeah, it's still a spender, and it doesn't generate power.
Right.
So I see the global internet falling in love with this guy, and all I can say is I hope they're wrong. Because yes, if he just like 1 rounds Hulk, that's fucking stupid.
The crit hit is not that hard to trigger. It is only very marginally harder than the crit itself. So if you basically just consider it a 1 in 9.
Yeah, that still doesn't make me happy.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you shouldn't have a 4 cost that... See, here's the question. How reliable is it? Because triggers are triggers. You either hit them or you don't. And here's the thing. For me, he is costed as if he's going to hit this trigger. But he's not costed as if he's going to hit it infinitely. So I don't know how to evaluate him without having ever played him or played against him, right?
Yeah. It does force you to use... I mean, if we're starting off with the assumption that he's using Storm Leadership, right? Well, what if you're not? You could also play him in Midnight Suns quite easily for the bump.
Yep.
And honestly, we don't know what affiliations he's in yet. He could be in a couple different places. You do have to place him that turn for the extra dice, so you can't use stuff like Lockjaw. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a real chance that this guy is just going to accidentally kill whoever he attacks, right? Like, I mean, how many times?
You should just kind of assume he's going to attack you 3 times, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you're saying with the builder, then the spender, and 1 additional.
You would think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair bet. I mean,
I would assume.
It's like it's just the same, basically the same math as Immortal Hulk hitting his wild. It's like, yeah, it's technically like an 80%er, but he has 8 chances at hitting a 1 in 8. Like it's not going to happen every time, but it might fucking happen for a while. And then once he starts rolling 12, 14 dice, well, now it's just more and more likely every time he does it.
Yep.
And so it's, can you get 10 power on him? And if you get 10 power on him, can he do it 8 times? Maybe.
I'm also not a fan of his teleporting strike having auto stun. Like, what the hell? So,
you do have to be farther away, but you'll automatically get closer after that.
Sure, but if he only had a superpower that let him place farther away from the character that he wants to use.
Yeah, if you're sure you want to stun, you can spend 1, likely get there, or 2.
Like
the part that's actually going to be annoying is he's just going to like stun 2 people and teleport away. Like he doesn't need to get closer. It's a May.
Yep.
And I can tell you, anybody who's played Angela before will tell you that you can really hopscotch a bunch. You can be hopscotching across the opponent's army with, and she has a range 2 place 2. This guy has a range 3 place 2. He will definitely be able to move, just use your army like a ladder and just cross a field.
Now, his biggest weakness is no defensive tech other than his add 2 dice, and those are not against Mystic. So really against all of X-Men, stocks up big on Mystic attacks. So you take someone like Ancient One into him and knock on wood, she should be able to, I hate reliably, but she should be able to put significant amounts of damage into him. Like Blade, Ancient One, Maw, like any of you're good at mystic attackers.
Yeah.
Magic, Doctor Strange 2, Sorcerer Supreme.
So, does anybody have overall thoughts? I feel like he is exciting and looks fun, but not overly impressive.
I as a huge Nightcrawler fan, back when I originally heard about the Uncanny X-Men, eons ago, I think he feels exactly like Nightcrawler should feel. I think it looks perfect. I want him to constantly be moving. I want him to constantly be attacking on it from every direction. I love the design space. I think he's going to be super fun to play. I disagree with the internet, and I agree with you that I don't think it's going to be oppressive. He's just going to be exciting from anybody who's a big fan of the character. I think this is another one of those times where Atomic Mass definitely nailed a character. I also think they were not generous by making him a 4.
Sure.
I think they erred on the side of this much mobility should cost more. And so I think they erred to that.
He's definitely winning mobility.
Yeah.
But like everyone's freaking out about him a little bit. Like, no, they're not going crazy, but like people are talking about him a lot. It's like, can you just tell me which 4 he's displacing from your list? Is it Logan? Mm-hmm. Is it Psylocke? Is it Colossus? Is it like maybe Colossus? He's not pushing Cyclops out. He's not pushing Rogue out, I don't think. Like, I don't see it. Like, their list already has so many strong 4s that he just seems like a fun thematic model that you'll play at your local shop, but you probably won't take to tournaments.
I really hope you guys are wrong, but I have a little ping in my gut that tells me.
We'll see. I mean, if he is the secret tech versus Hulk and Thanos, sure. Like, I guess we'll see.
I just wish his Brimstone Blitz had been like 3 power, not 5. So then it starts at 6 and goes up from there. But I don't really like to live in the woulda, coulda, shoulda world.
I don't think he gets played at all if that's the case.
We'll see.
Yeah. I think that would have probably been the case if he was a 3-pointer. Maybe they would have knocked a hit point off of him or something. I don't know. We'll see, like you said. Jeremy, did you have any final thoughts on Nightcrawler?
I just think it's interesting how the rosters are starting to get fleshed out with so many models that can place themselves. I mean, Logan was already super strong, and now this guy is just going to slot in there, and it's going to be tough keeping up, I don't know where the meta is going and what this guy can do. I think it's always interesting having a model in your list that, like, you kind of go, well, let's just see what happens here, and hopefully, I hate having it against me. You kind of got to clench your butthole and go, please God, don't let this happen right now. But this guy could take out anything at any time. It's cool. Whatever. He's a superhero. Do it.
All right. What is next?
Up next is what I constantly call Black Cat, Shadow Cat. That's just a terrible misname that I give all the time. But Kitty Pryde will be in the game. She is a 3-cost long mover with 5 health on both sides. She's identical on both sides. She has 3s across the board in defense, and she's a size 2. She has a physical attack called the Phasing Strike. At range 2 with only 4 dice, she does gain damage she does gain power for damage dealt. During the attack, the defending character does not add crits to its defense roll, and does not add additional dice for crits. So even though it's low attack dice, it prevents them from using crits at all. Crits are dead. It has a wild sidestep, which places the character within 1 of itself. Then she has a range 3, 4 dice attack that builds 1 power. Its energy, called Get 'em Lockheed. The dragon uses its flame breath. It does have a wild incinerate on it. Then her spender is called Intangible Assault. It is range 3 with 7 dice and 3 power. Again, the character that she's targeting does not get crits at all. The crits are totally dead. And it has a wild called Ghosted. After the attack is resolved, place the character within 2 of itself. So it is literally... Intangible Assault is almost identical to Phasing Strike. It's just upgraded slightly. You get 3 more dice for 3 power and 1 extra range.
So, if by slightly you mean incredibly, immensely, then yes, I agree with you.
Well, what I mean is
literally
it is
Synthozoid Avenger with more stuff.
Right. What I was saying is it
For
is a direct upgrade, right? It's a direct upgrade to the builder.
That I will give you.
A lot of spenders are somehow like mechanically different. This one is not.
Nope.
Well, it's just saying that all of her personal attacks ignore the crit thing. Like, that's just like what her theme.
Mm-hmm.
I very much do not like the spender on this model. I think it's way too good.
Okay, I was about to say I love it, but
Yeah.
okay.
No,
yeah.
this seems like a clear oversight on a 3-point model.
Want to talk about her?
Sure. Phase Rush is a cost 2 power that places her within 2. That's it. Can't Touch This is a reactive power. It costs 2. When this character or an allied character within 2 is targeted by a physical or energy attack, or would make a dodge roll, she can spend 2 power to add 2 dice to the defense or dodge roll. If this character or the ally is pushed or thrown by the special rules of that attack, after the effect is resolved, you may place the pushed or thrown character within 1 of itself. Finally, she has stealth.
I think this model is pushed.
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Nightcrawler, which I think might be pushed to an NPE, so that's my concern with Nightcrawler is it's just an NPE when you one round your Hulk. Like Shadowcat is not going to. There's no NPE there. She just does a lot of really good things, which is offset by the fact that she's 3/3/3 with 10 total health. Like she is on the low end of 3 survivability. But I love Intangible Assault. That spender is fire. And I super love Can't Touch This, the adding dice. Because under Steve, it costs 1. And at that point, you can actually start to synergize a list around her adding dice to her allies. Granted, it's only within 2 and not against Mystic. But normally you pay in terms of threat value for that type of an ability. Unless it's on Darkstar. And if you compare Darkstar to Shadowcat, you've got one winner, and I won't even give you a guess.
Yeah. So my frustrating part with this model for me is that it's so scripted on how to play her, because it's just you double move, or single move even, to the middle-ish, stand on a point if you want, or there's a lot of plays I know that people have been talking about, because she's the first long mover in X-Men, that she turns on some aspect of Storm's leadership. Maybe they fix that with the place thing, but I don't think so. But she's going to set up for turn 2, and then just immediately you can use Get 'em Lockheed, which might incinerate them, gives you the 3rd power you need, and you immediately Intangible Assault a model that might be incinerated, that also you've cut out over 30% of their blocks on the attack roll, and she's doing the attack of basically a 4-pointer. Like, she's just clearly pushed. And then even, like, her survivability stuff, like, yeah, she's probably in the bottom half of 3-pointers, but she's not worthless on defense. Like, she has stealth. She has the ability to add dice. Like, she's not the worst defensive model in the game.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I feel this model is pushed as well.
Thematically, I love that they took a character that ostensibly is invulnerable, right? Like, how do you beat a person with Ghost God mode, right? Which is like what her superpower is. Like, how do you beat her? And the answer is you can't really, I guess, unless you can fly, because she can't come after you if you're flying. But she has a pet dragon. I love that they just made her a 3-coster, and yet she is just as broken as her power set implies. I think I love that they just went and did it from a design standpoint. As a keeping it real to the character standpoint. At the same time, I don't know if it's good for the game that she is so strong. But
I could literally totally disagree with that. So my issue is not that she's like too good. Well, I guess it is too good, but like, how is it true to the character? Explain how this model is intangible to me with her rules. Like, she hits harder than Vision, or not harder than Vision, but as hard as Vision. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, why does she have a 7-dice spender that ignores crits? It's ridiculous.
Well, the idea is that she can ignore all defensive beautiful things, right? You have armor, you got force fields. If they affect matter and that's what they're affecting, she can just walk right through them. Just like that's the reason why Synthesoid Avenger is what it is that he is using his ability to just go inside of your defenses and destroy you, and so you don't get the benefit of your defenses. And she has exactly the same thing.
Vision can like throw a car though.
He does. He has a throw ability, but that's not what Synthesoid
No,
Avenger
like
is.
with his physical strength.
Right.
Why is she able to hit that hard? Why is it 7 dice? It should be 5 dice.
They decided that the ability to transfer yourself through matter and attack with that ability is this effect in the game.
No, I understand the don't get crits part. My problem is the 7 dice and the range 3. Why is it a range 3 7 dice? That doesn't make any sense. I agree with you. She should be one of the most defensive models in the entire game. And she's literally one of the worst. Like, I'm saying that they didn't capture her. I think they did a bad job. This is, I think, one of the worst translations of a character from screen to card that I've seen. Okay. Because other than the word Lockheed, why is this Kitty Pryde? If I blanked out the name and the picture and I said, guess which character in Marvel this is, you're telling me you would have got it?
If you took off the titles of the attacks...
Yeah. I blank out all the obvious stuff that gives it away, and I said, I just told you the text, and I said, guess which character this is. Your first guess would definitely not be Kitty Pryde.
The phase rush power doesn't make any sense. I'm with you there. Stealth doesn't make any sense. She doesn't, I guess, if she's under the
stealth
ground,
is fine because she like hide inside things. I'm actually on board with stealth, but a lot of people get stealth. Yeah, phase rush placing. I know they talked about it in the video, and they were just like, we just wanted to show how mobile she was because of her ability to like phase through walls and things. I'm like, sure, like I'm not going to argue super hard against that, but it's like the attack is silly. Like they have her hitting like a 4-pointer, a heavy hitting 4-pointer, and she definitely doesn't do that in the stories or in the comics. Lockheed is cool, but like short of Lockheed, I feel like they just really missed.
I don't mind phasing strike and get him Lockheed makes perfect sense. I think that makes sense. She's hitting like Wong because she is a trained martial artist.
Yeah.
So she's hitting like Wong.
The builder's fine.
Yeah. So like she's hitting like Wong, but she also uses phase powers. So if the intangible assault was range 2 and 6 dice, would you have been okay, or would you still have been upset?
I would be a lot less annoyed. Okay. Yeah, I honestly think it should probably be 5, and then they should have made her intangible ability a little bit more interactive or something better. I wish they would have leaned more into her superpower and not into just making her strong in the game, which is, I felt like, what they did. Felt like somebody involved in the playtesting and design of this model just wanted her to be really good and didn't try to make her what she was. And that's a personal opinion, and I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but that's just my thoughts.
I felt like they captured her with the spirit of what they've already established in the game with characters like Vision. I feel like they did it. The fact that they gave her exactly Vision's attack and also made her 3 cost is a little suspect. I would agree.
Well, but it's better than Vision's attack. That's the problem.
Sorry, just the stats.
Like yeah. Vision is a 4-pointer, and her spender is noticeably better than Vision's. Like that shouldn't exist. And if you want to say Vision is a like dated legacy model that they don't plan on having anymore, like hers is cheaper and has a secondary effect that's good. Like it doesn't make any sense.
I did make this comparison to her as soon as I looked at her. I immediately went to original Wolverine and X-23, and I thought of that immediately with Vision and this model. Like,
if the phasing thing is part of her kit, why doesn't she have the phasing thing that Vision has?
Right. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I was just thinking about like packages and what kind of things you're excited to take them for. X-23 does a lot of the things you're excited to take Wolverine for, only it's costs 3, and I feel like she does a lot of the things you're excited to take Vision for. She just costs 3.
Yeah, I know. I think she's. I mean, you don't take her over Vision because you're taking Vision for very specific reasons. Right. But in my opinion, one of the coolest things about Vision was his spender, and they just completely invalidated that by printing an objectively better one on a 3-point model.
Aaron, she does make me excited for martial artists and Steve. Like she just slots into that, and she can replace Cable for 2 points less. Cable's still an Avenger, and he has some other awesome stuff that you like, but if you don't need Cable to do that awesome stuff, she is just better, right? Because she costs
Cable's really good.
Cable's really good, but she does if you need the 2 points for something else really important, which you absolutely could in that list.
Yep.
All right. What is next, sir?
Next, we have Amol Farouk, the Shadow King. He is a 5-cost model that moves short. On his front side, he has 6 health, and so he does the same thing on his back side. He's size 3. His defenses are physical is 3, energy is 4, and mystic is 5. I'm double checking, just making sure he's identical on his backside, but it looks like he is.
I think he is, yeah.
Mental Shackle is his basic attack. It is a mystic range 3 with 6 dice. He does gain power for the damage dealt. It has Wild Root after the attack is resolved, and after attack is resolved, if it dealt damage, he may advance towards the target character short. His Spender is 5 dice, range 2 for 4 power. Astral Disintegration says you add dice to the attack roll equal to the amount of power the target character has to a maximum of 5. It's very similar to the Penance Stare from Ghost Riders. However, unlike the Penance Stare, this target character cannot reroll or modify dice in the defense roll during this attack.
Mm-hmm.
You want to stop or move forward?
Let's keep going. But yeah, I think it's important to note that his Astral Disintegration is, while being a shorter range, is just better Penance Stare. But yeah.
Unless you are specifically, for a damage, yes. Unless you're trying to rob their power, that's an important part of the thing.
Oh, that's true. It doesn't drain power.
It doesn't drain
that's
power.
True. But they can't mod their defense,
right.
Which is interesting.
Astral Fiend is a 3-cost action power, so it'll cost him an action as well. He places a projection token within 3 of himself. When you're measuring range for his attacks or superpowers, you can measure from the projection token. If you are measuring range for enemy mystic attacks, enemy characters can measure to the projection token. When this character is dealt damage by a mystic attack, the token is removed. At the beginning of the cleanup phase, you also remove this token. The superpower can only be used once. So picture it basically like a little turret that he can put down that your opponents can attack him through the turret if they're using
with
mystic
only
attacks.
Mystic attacks.
Yeah. And also that removes the token turret.
If they deal damage.
Yeah. For 3 power, he can use Immortal Essence, which removes 3 damage from himself. Nightmare Visions is a 4-cost power. When a character ends an advance within 3 of him, he may use it. Roll 3 dice. The enemy character suffers damage for only crits and wilds. But if it deals at least 1 damage, this character may advance the enemy character short. This superpower can only be used once per turn. And finally, he is an Omega level multiversal entity, which is to say he gains 1 power during the power phase.
1 additional.
Sorry, 1 additional.
All right. Well, I think it is pretty clear this guy is the strongest 5-pointer they've ever released.
All I have to say is
he's going to be literally required for everyone to play.
Hard pass.
I am convinced that I wronged Will in some previous life. Because after the Adepticon reveals, like, what was the consensus coolest model? And if
the coolest model revealed at Adepticon was definitely Shadow King.
Yes. And by far my most favorite model. Like, yes, I want to buy that model and paint that model and play with that model because it looks rad.
You went 2 for 3.
And then I read Mental Shackle. And I said, range 3, 6 power, Wild Root. I was like, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. This is after I got through the 3, 4, 5 with 6 health for a 5-threat. I was like, that's not good.
And you advance and advance them short.
Yeah, like Mental Shackle is great.
Legit. Yeah.
And the rest of the card is hot fucking garbage. Holy shit.
Astral Fiend is legit.
No, my God.
Yes, it is. You are wrong.
Oh.
It is good.
I want you to be right so bad, but you are fucking wrong.
Dude, you don't know. Dude, I'm telling you, it's going to be good.
Oh, you have 18 seconds. Convince me.
You can just counter deploy where your opponent doesn't have mystic attackers. It's amazing. I don't even know what you're talking about. Also, if they're trying to attack you back, they only get to hit you the once. So, like, the whole argument of it costs him an action to put down, and then, you lose the attack. Well, you put the thing down on the first turn. And don't even give me he doesn't have 3 power. We all know he's going to get the 3rd power. You put the Astral Token down on the first turn.
Can you please read the second to last sentence of Astral Fiend?
Oh, yeah, you move it. Yeah, you move it. So, yeah, you're going to drop it at some point. But regardless, why would you move up to attack people when you could drop your Astral Fiend and attack people?
So, probably because his fat ass needs to be sitting on a point to score it.
Yeah, you move there on turn 1.
This is exactly... He's exactly for Ds, right? You can be on the YD and then attack either
Bs.
of those.
He's actually really good on Bs.
Sure.
Bs as well. Bs and
So
Ds.
let's pretend he's playing Infinity, and he's on the point. At some point, your opponent wants to come kill your model on your B, or displace your model, or do something. So it doesn't fucking matter
Nightmare
where
visions.
this token
Nightmare visions.
that doesn't count for securing objectives is, or gathering extract objectives. They're going to come to you regardless of where your astral ring that cost you 3 power and an action to place is on the battlefield.
No, you use Astral Fiend if they don't come after you. If they're like, I'm not going to win if I go over there. So, because you've got Mental Shackle. And so they stay on their point, you drop the Astral Fiend, don't have to leave your point, and move them off with your Mental Shackle.
Also, can we just stop for a second and realize Nightmare Visions is the first thing that's a counter-strike that if you roll damage, you don't move Farouk. You move
No, we've
them.
talked about it. Mm-hmm.
It is really, I completely agree. It's
good.
Very good.
It's very good.
So let's total up the total cost of his superpowers. 10.
Yeah.
How much power does he get a turn? 2. Fuck. And 1 action is wasted by spending 3 power?
Hey, you don't need to do it every turn,
Oh.
like we've talked about.
Oh my god.
He also has a really good builder, so he's going to generate some power, don't worry.
Okay. 6 dice, no mods can do good, it can do really shitty. Talk to Thor.
Also, when they attack you and deal 3, that's paying for the 3. You're not going to Immortal Essence on turns you don't take damage, obviously. So, including that in the power cost is felonious because you're not going to do it. If you take
understand.
3 damage, you're going to spend the 3 power you got from taking the 3 damage.
Right. I totally get it.
So really, his total cost is 7. He gets 2 a turn, so he's got 4 on turn 2, which just means on turn 2, as long as you didn't spend power on turn 1, which shouldn't be that big of a deal, you just stand there, and when they walk up to you, you just fucking move their ass away and laugh at them.
Hold on. How many dice do you roll?
3. You roll 3.
3. And is it for hits,
Averages,
crits, and wild, or just crits and wild?
Crits and wild.
Oh, so just crits and wild. We're probably in the 50% range. So I'm going to spend
50%.
Is it though?
Hit
crit wild is about. Sorry, crit wild on 4 dice is 75%.
It's 1 in 4. Yeah, it's 1 in 4 per die.
I'm going to say no. It is about 75% to get a crit or a wild on 4 dice. So on 3 dice,
I'd take the chance. I'd walk. I'd
Sure.
go into it.
It is 58% chance to succeed.
Okay, I'll buy that. For 4 power,
that is the math.
For 4 power, I'm going to take a 58% chance. I mean,
yeah.
in the right situation, absolutely. But imagine I spend it, I don't get it, you come into me anyway? For 5 fucking threat on a move short guy?
Aaron,
I am legitimately pissed.
All skulls for the entire game, though.
I'm sorry, I can't give you a hot take other than I am viscerally upset.
I think that people are underestimating how good Nightmare Visions is. Because, okay, I charge you, right? Cool, Nightmare Visions. Advance you out of attack range. Okay, go ahead and make your charge attack now. And you're like, fuck my life. Second action, advance into melee range. You're like, cool. My turn now? I mental shackle you back out of range. And you're like, God damn it. It's so strong.
I cannot wait for you to show me how wrong I am right now.
Oh, you'll show yourself, because you're going to buy this fucking model on release day, and you're going to paint it that weekend, and you're going to play it in a tournament, because you know you're going to.
The Fez will come as a separate piece.
The Fez. No. That's on lockdown. Everyone's going to have the Fez.
Is he wearing,
except
tiny
for
glasses, too? Is that what
He's
those
wearing
are?
little tiny glasses, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Except for Parker, who doesn't like cowboy hats.
Oh, you're definitely supposed to not like this guy. The very first time I ever
guy's
seen
a
him
fucking
drawn.
James Bond villain, if there ever was
Yeah,
one.
he is.
He's 100% a Bond villain. He actually is a combination of Dr. Evil and Will Ferrell from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
He's just like a merger of those two people.
I think if you can give him a little bit of extra power or give him some power decreases, he has a lot of potential. I don't know if Steve is willing to spend 5 points for him, but he might. I think that there's a Control Steve list, right? We've talked about it many times, that runs some control stuff. Could you imagine if you put him down with Loki, no Mind Stone, unless you wanted to do the Mind Stone also, that'd be a lot of power, but a lot of threat. But you have a root model that controls, you have Loki that puts the tax out. Like, you could do a Control Steve list. He slots into that really well.
You could put him in there. I don't think he slots in very well to that. I don't think it's what Steve wants because it's another fairly static model.
You're not wrong.
I think where you actually want it, and I think he's going to be affiliated, is Red Skull 1. Because Red Skull 1's going to give him all the power he wants because he's going to be attacking a lot, and he's going to put him in position to make attacks.
Only once a turn. Once a turn with your Astral Fiend. I'm just saying.
What? Oh, yeah, because I was going to use multiple activate. But the token's still there. What are you even talking about?
Oh, Red Skull 1 can activate him again, and the token's still out.
Yeah, and then he heals the damage he takes also. Yeah. I'm going to point that out.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, what I was actually going to say was that you could actually use Dark Rain with Astral Disintegration and just say you're gone. like, goodbye, you're going to the Shadow Dimension. Get the fuck out of my face.
Are we assuming he's Cabal?
No, I'm saying I think he will be, but we'll see. He's definitely a bad guy. He works with the underworld. I think he'll either be criminal Cabal or just Cabal, I think. But I could be wrong.
I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah. Ooh, Parker said bet.
I got
it. You wouldn't take the bet because you agree with me.
Yeah, that's correct. I give you really bad odds.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how much you like really bad odds.
Oh, I'm really good at those. When I hear really bad
Parker,
odds.
I just want you to know, I turned $10 into $45 on DraftKings, and so now I'm trying to make more money on DraftKings, and the only place I'm more successful than DraftKings is on this podcast. Like, I am winning millions of dollars in this podcast betting you.
Perhaps I should be your DraftKings, associate, and all I'll do is tell you what to do. And then you do the opposite.
I'll just. It's called fading it, but
right.
Yes, it's just bet the opposite.
Yeah,
Aaron's asleep. All right, so I think we can all agree that Farouk is a 9 out of 10 at the absolute floor, probably a 10 out of 10.
Would rather give myself an enema filled with honey and sit on an anthill.
Jesus Christ!
Whoa,
that also sounds enjoyable. I would agree. You'd be friends with the ants.
You're doing a favor.
All right. Is that it? Is that all we got?
Farouk, yeah. There's a few more things to talk about, though.
Oh, god damn it. All right, what's next?
Tactics cards. Xavier's Dream is an uncanny X-Men card. It's reactive. When an ally character would suffer damage, any number of other ally characters may each spend a power to play this card. For each power spent, reduce the amount of damage they would suffer by 1. Basically,
this is
a collective way
CR,
to ablate damage.
This is clearly getting played with Cyclops. I actually think this is suggesting either I'm going to be upset, or this is suggesting that they're going to rotate exceptional healing.
I would be shocked
in my opinion,
but they might.
Yeah, we'll see.
I dislike this less than you. Like, if you want to spend every tactics card on healing people, great.
Yeah, I think this card is actually fine, which is why it makes me think that exceptional healing might go away.
Okay. I'd be fine with that too.
Unexceptional healing.
Unexceptional.
No, I like this card. I think it's fair. I think it's good. I don't think you play it in every game. I think it's a situational based thing. The fact that it can reduce to 0 is pretty big. What's next?
Cerebro is next, which I think is curious that they previewed this card because we can surmise that Xavier will be able to use it, but we do know one other model in X-Men that can. It's got an interesting stipulation.
2.
During the activation of an uncanny X-Men character that has at least 1 Mystic Attack and at least 5 Mystic Defense, which is currently only Jean Grey
and
Emma, which are 2 models that use Cerebro in the comics. We can assume that Professor Xavier will be the third. because he also uses
Mm-hmm.
it. But for the rest of this round, the character that plays this card increases the range of its mystic attacks by 1 to a max 5, adds 1 die to its mystic attacks, and adds 1 die to its mystic defense. Additionally, this character attacks do not require line of sight and ignore stealth for the rest of the round. Interesting situational buff. I think we'll have to see, what comes of it. I think some people will get excited, but it does say Uncanny X-Men, so Hellfire can't use it. So it'll be...
Sure, but Emma's still uncanny.
It's
so.
marked for death for X-Men.
Yeah. I think it'll be in every list that includes either Jean or Professor X, probably.
I really only think it's important for that last bit. I mean,
you don't think it's worth it for Jean? I mean, making her a 5/6 attack with Pierce that ignores line of sight and stealth is pretty cool.
No, the last bit on the card, the ignoring line of sight and stealth.
Sure.
I think
the range is also very
I would agree with that, too. I think the extra die is totally not worth the card at all, and the defense is almost worthless. Like, it has to be super situational, so... you use it into webs when you know you're going to need to murder someone who has stealth.
Can I give you my hot take?
No, I already gave you mine.
No, my hot take is spicy.
Okay.
So Professor Xavier's in the chair, right? We've confirmed the model.
Yes.
So he's going to be size 3, and you're going to smash a size 2 and play Cerebro, and he's going to do like a 9 die mystic attack. That's his builder. That's like range 5.
Xavier Smash.
Xavier Smash. It's going to be amazing.
I think Jean Grey playing this card, I don't know if it makes it into your 5 every time, but I think Jean Grey really enjoys this card. Range 5 Psionic Bolt. That sounds awesome. Range 5, 6 dice Psionic Bolt with Sap Power and Pierce. Even if you don't get to use Telekinetic Force, it sounds good enough. But again, does it make the 5? I don't know.
Just to be clear, it makes all of your attacks ignore line of sight and stealth.
Yes.
So there you go.
I mean,
telekinetic force like range 2.
Yeah.
3. It isn't irrelevant.
I mean, it might be worth it as a turn 1 play just to get an extra attack. Like when you're not within range 5. Mm-hmm. Playing on bees, for example, you can stay out of range 4 when they move forward. So, I don't know. I have to play with it some. Is it worth the tactics card? I don't know.
Also, if you play Emma, Headmistress is a good card also. So it's not like Emma's a bad inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt you'd play it for Emma, but,
Yeah, Telekinetic Force popping out with 10 dice at range 4 is nothing.
Mm-hmm. If that makes her hands off a range 4 9 dice attack.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible. I guess her Psychic Spike is the same fucking stats as Jean's. It just doesn't have Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
They're going to have to... try to think. No, never mind. Emma could not use it on her diamond form side.
Correct. She also doesn't have a mystic attack, but I also thought about the shattering and then using it.
Yeah. But
anyway,
she can't play Team Tactics cards in diamond form.
Correct. Is that it? We got another one?
One more.
Mass Transit is Nightcrawler's unaffiliated card. It's an active that also costs an action. He has to spend 3 power, lose an action, and then choose up to 3 other allied characters within 2 of himself. Place a Nightcrawler within 3, then place each chosen character within 1 of Nightcrawler. After this effect is resolved, Nightcrawler gains Stagger. So for an action, a Stagger token, and for 3 power, Nightcrawler can place himself and 3 other characters.
So I think the most important part about this is that we've now seen the new format of tactics cards where they have the active action cost. That's very interesting and cool, I think. It's new terminology moving forward because previously it's always said during X character's activation they may play this card. So now they just say active or something like that. Do you think you play Wong with advanced R&D to play this on the first turn? Because Wong can advance R&D and pass him a power, and then on the next activation, you activate Mass Transit, you transport Cyclops, Nightcrawler, pick 2 others, 3+2 forward, basically.
TBD. I haven't thought about the card yet.
It effectively costs Nightcrawler 2 actions because he staggers him as well. He gets so tired.
If you're playing with Wong, though, Wong can remove stagger the following
It's
turn.
true. Wong can remove stagger before his next turn. It's not nothing.
I'm
It
sure
does
there's some
provide
pretty nasty plays in there with that. I mean, that's a lot
that
of
is a- I mean,
characters making movements.
Yeah.
That's basically
Not
your
to
whole
mention,
list. It's basically your whole
on
list.
top.
Yeah.
Is it your whole list? I mean, it's
It
Wong
might-
plus Nightcrawler.
If
is
Wong
6.
is not getting placed,
Oh, you mean it's teleporting your whole list?
Yeah.
Is what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the cost of Wong and a tactic slot, you get your whole list teleported forward.
Because then let's say you immediately activate Scott, right? And Scott double taps the center line because he's, basically standing on it. Double taps the center line, might even get 3 attacks out of his attacks actions. Let's say he's got 3 or 4 power. He hands out power to other people, but then also has power left to maybe play To Me My X-Men and then also field leader somebody if he gets to 4 power. So he only needs to gain 3 more. If he gains 3 power through 2 attack actions, he can To Me My X-Men the 2 people beside him forward, and then also field leader one of them even further forward. And so you could end up getting crazy far up the board for 2 tactics cards.
So you remember I just played a game against Nigel where I got crazy far up the board? How'd that work out for me?
I expect other people to not die.
Okay, sure. So the quote unquote bad thing is it's on Nightcrawler's turn, right? So you're going to take, in this example, Scott and place him on the midline and quote unquote hope he doesn't get fucking yeeted off the board at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I that tones down the turn 1 plays a little bit. They're still obviously there. I think it could be better as a turn 3 play where like you go in with, the big hitters in your roster and you give them 1 attack to take them off the board before you then whisk them to safety. So I think there's lots of possible plays. I just haven't thought through them yet.
Oh, I just thought of something really novel about this. If you do this on your first turn, like you're suggesting, you spend 1 action to do mass transit. You immediately gain the stagger token. If you don't want a Nightcrawler to move at that point, just use the second action to shake stagger.
You could shake stagger.
So you wouldn't need somebody to remove it. You would just use both actions on first turn just to place. Of course, the alternative is, yes, just use your second action to move to a relevant spot. But
placing 3 forward, though, it's entirely possible if your opponent moved at the center line to pick up an extract, you could attack them, too, with your range 3 basic.
And then place 2.
And then also, puff of smoke if you felt like being an idiot.
Yeah.
If your opponent is bad, you can win a lot of games.
Hey. Maybe they had a plan.
I didn't say you.
Sometimes your opponent is named Connor, and he just feels the need to put She-Hulk on the center line.
Okay. My previous
It
comment.
doesn't work out for him.
Previous comment stands.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the reason we say, that only works if your opponent's asleep. Sometimes they are asleep. You don't know.
Okay.
All right.
There were, I'm going to take this next part, 7 models spoiled.
That we didn't already know about? Or
Correct.
You mean that?
Nope, that we did not know about. I'm going to list them, and I want your one you are most looking forward to and one you're most met on. Silver Sable, Shang-Chi, Thor, Mighty Thor, Lady Sif, Loki, and Dracula.
We're talking about most excited for?
Yes.
Just one.
Just one. What's your most and least?
Least is 100% Silver Sable, and it's not even remotely close.
Okay. What's your most?
I'd probably say Dracula. I like Mighty Thor. I like Thor. I like Sif. I like Loki. Shang-Chi I could give a fuck about. But I think the biggest part for me choosing Dracula would be that he's just different, and as opposed to being more of the same. The Asgardians are cool and all, but I don't know if I'm excited for one of them more than the rest. Probably Mighty Thor, I would say, would be the one I'd be most excited about. But Dracula's going to be cool and interesting. And so I'm excited to see what a Dracula looks like in the game.
Okay. Jeremy?
I like the sculpt for new Loki. That looks really cool. Hopefully he's got some cool shit to back him up. Least excited, I've never really cared for Lady Thor. I think that I didn't like that movie. I didn't like either movie that Jane Foster was in, either of any, whatever that is, 2 or 3 of them, whatever the fuck. Yeah,
she's also a girl with muscles, and we know how you feel about that.
That's disgusting.
We do know how you feel about that.
Ugh.
When they announced She-Hulk, Jeremy just got cold sweats.
God damn it.
I saw him turn green.
Ooh.
Gah.
Okay, Parker.
Okay. Wait. What was your most excited?
The new Loki sculpt
Loki.
is really
Loki,
cool.
all right. Did you listen to the video, or did you just look at the spoilers?
I listened to it.
Okay. I believe they said something along the lines of, he makes old Loki look fun to play against.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Parker.
Shang-Chi, not close. I love all the martial artists. I love them. I love everybody. I love regular humans in this world. That's one of my favorite things. Guys with guns and guys with fists against gods and monsters. I love them.
There's one correct answer for the next one.
Least favorite?
Mm-hmm.
Dracula. I have a lot of like comics with him, and I just find him to be really derpy in the Marvel universe. Okay. I think it's a weird shoehorn. I don't understand why Dracula exists in the Marvel universe. I don't like it. Marvel's very much a sci-fi story, and I do think there are some cool supernatural stuff that they've done, but I think the vampires is the weakest part of their lore. The only like interesting storyline I think ever came up was like the mutants versus the vampires. I always thought that was a cool concept of how vampires and mutants have this weird rivalry, but Dracula himself as a character in the comics is the least exciting vampire to me. But
sure. Okay, well, I'm going to offer you an olive branch, and you can say that Silver Sable is the second worst on the list.
No, I can't do that.
Oh my god. All right, off the podcast. Jeremy, would you say Silver Sable is your second least favorite?
Sure.
Why do you want people? Why are you trying to fish for people that hate Silver Sable?
I want to know that I'm not alone. I'm not surrounded by psychopaths. Like
I started the conversation with I like regular humans against monsters, and she's one.
I know, and that's why I was like, this is going to go sideways. I know it. Yeah. All right, Aaron. So Aaron, what are yours?
I'm going to thread the needle here. Least favorite, Shang-Chi.
Okay. Respectable.
Most favorite, Lady Sif.
So quick question, follow up.
Uh-huh.
Is it because of the model or because of what you hope the rules will be?
Number 2.
Okay.
Because Asgard desperately needs good low point models, and I'm hoping she will be a good low point model. Okay. I'm with Parker though. I like humans, so Silver Sable, heck yeah. Reminds me of Hawkeye if Hawkeye was a sniper.
Yeah.
However, I also am really hyped for Dracula because yay weird shit. I am super unhyped for Thor because fuck 6 threats in this game.
Sure. But this is their opportunity to make 6 threats that work. Like Cosmic Ghost, right?
Fair and balanced.
Fair and balanced.
Really? Parker's the one getting kicked off.
Well, what I said was a joke. Parker meant that from the bottom of his fucking heart.
I'll go down with the ship with it. I'm fine.
I think why I'm excited for Dracula is because we get a lot of. I mean, I think it's fair to say that superheroes in general are fairly repetitive and samey for the most part. Like, obviously, they all have their own like genres and backstories and interesting aspects, but like they're heroes or they're bad guys. Like, it's all very binary. And like, I like supernatural occulty stuff also. Like, I don't feel like there's enough magic and weird shit in the game. But it's not because there's not enough of it in Marvel. It's just mostly like, I want the game to be as wide as possible. I feel like Dracula is a step in that direction.
And I like Silver Sable for that exact thing. She exists in the gray. Like, she's a mercenary. What does she do? Like, she makes money. Like, if that causes her to interact with superheroes or supervillains, fine. Like, she's a mercenary. That's why I like a lot of the mercenary types.
Can you explain to me how she is noticeably different than Black Cat?
Black Cat is a super thief, and she is a mercenary. They're wildly different professions.
You called them both mercenaries.
No. I said Black Cat is a super thief, and Silver Sable is a mercenary.
Oh, okay. So Black Cat's not a mercenary? She's never worked for money?
No, she steals things.
Okay. She doesn't steal things for people for money?
No, I don't think so. She doesn't take jobs. Okay. It's she's very much the traditional like super fox, French master thief who goes around, and it's all for her. Okay. I've actually read her solo titles. For her, it's all about the thrill of the hunt and grabbing the thing that no one says no one can grab and fencing it or keeping it as a trophy. That's very much her persona.
They're the exact same person.
What's that?
They're the exact same person.
No.
Yes.
Silver Sable is a mercenary.
Their names are even the same. It's color, random mammal.
Now that is not that is absolutely true because they're both introduced in Spider-Man titles. There's so many Spider-Man accessory characters are based on animals. That is absolutely 100% true. That's because that's a Spider-Man trope for sure.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. We have a team tournament coming up soon at the Geekery. It's on October 7th. If you want to come to the Geekery for a 3-person team event, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Sign up. There's a Longshanks event. It's going to be a good time. All right, I think that concludes news. Anybody got any other news?
Nope.
I got some personal news. So I was walking in a park by my house today, and I was bitten by a wolf.
Where?
No, just regular wolf.
Nope. Nope.
I like that one. Did you not like it? I think I liked it.
Now I have to ask, did you collude on this beforehand, or did you know
we did.
this one, Aaron? Okay.
He came in a little hot. But, yeah,
as soon as you said you were walking by a park, I'm like,
I was
you would
walking
never say that.
by
You
a
would
park.
say Needle Park or...
No, look at me. I got a tan now. Like, I'm a normal human being. I'm not even going to die if I... Oh, wait. Don't see the other side. The upper side is tanned.
You were outside walking. I'm like, you're a liar.
You fucking liar.
You're a fucking liar.
Oh, boy. Jeremy, are you a fan of the Peanuts with Charlie Brown and all that?
Nope.
But you're aware of them, right? You've seen them before?
No.
No?
Mm-mm. Are they like the X-Men?
You don't know who Snoopy is?
Never heard of it.
Never. He's just so fucking... He refuses to set up a joke.
Never heard of it.
So
Is that
Parker,
like Transformers?
Parker, have you heard of the Peanuts?
Oh, the cartoon character drawn by
Yeah,
Charles Schultz and
those
adapted
guys.
into multiple things. Yeah.
A very Peanuts Christmas.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
So anyway,
Wah, wah, wah.
what is brown and rhymes with Snoop? Dr. Dre.
Nice.
Oh my god. Okay, I like that one.
I like that. I can't remember who sent me on. I've had that one in here forever. Oh boy. Okay. Anybody have anything else they want to cover, or do we want to move into the post ramble for the movies?
Let's do currently playing and talk about my tourney.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Maybe just one.
So I'm still playing Webs. Jeremy is playing Cabal
Ultron.
that we've talked about. You added Ultron to your list. Did you like Ultron?
He's doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah, if Rhino gets left alone and nobody takes Rhino, I think I'm going to hot swap. Because Rhino
talked about that
has
a
a
bit
more
earlier.
useful card. And Rhino can chase down super fast models.
Yeah, he's got such tempo. It's
yeah.
As a web player, I find Rhino one of the most frustrating models to play against because he's just always up in your shit. He's throwing shit at squishy people. He's really hard to deal with, and he kind of like Jugs, just plays his own game, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And so anytime my opponent has those models, it makes it harder on me.
Yep. So, but I mean, Ultron does his thing too. Like, I would say, in my list, one of those models is an 8 and one is a 10. And I think, Rhino's definitely a 10, and I would take him if I can. So we'll see.
Fair.
It's okay either way.
Parker, what have you been playing lately?
Man, I don't know. I have been trying to find something. I built a Defenders / Web Warriors list, but I just happened to draw some scenarios where I played Web Warriors, and I won and lost, but I didn't enjoy any of it. So I
know you've never been a Webs guy. Your brain is like the opposite of what Webs need.
I don't know what it is about them, but I find it uncomfortable. Like, it's not fun to do that, and it makes me upset because I love them as character concepts, but man, I just really don't enjoy their style of play. So now I'm actually just staring. I'm just staring at my wall constantly. Like, I look at my models every night for like since last Thursday, and I've just been looking at it going, what am I going to do next? I'm trying to figure it out. I want to play, but I don't know what.
I think now is the best time to pick up X-Men Blue because it's still fun and exciting, and probably in about 2 months, the groupthink will figure out the list, and then you'll feel obligated to play that as opposed to experiment.
Mm.
So I would say, I know you've always been a Cyclops guy. I was fucking amazed you weren't playing that already.
Honestly, it was really just, everybody was excited to do it, and a whole bunch of people were trying it, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Go ahead and try that. I'll try something.
You hear people talk about it on the internet. That's not necessarily the game store experience, right? Like, James is the only one fucking playing X-Men Blue, except for me. I think Kenny played 2 games of it.
And B-Dubs, he's already definitely not doing X-Men Blue anymore. He's just going back.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just going back to
they immediately
Storm.
all switch back. Like, yeah. I'm telling you that no one's playing X-Men Blue. So.
I should definitely take you up on that. Also, I should play... I should try some things with it that are different. And that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, I'll get to put my Cyclops model on the board, and I won't feel sad about doing
so. For the first time. Yeah. It's the first time for everything.
Yes. You're right.
All right.
That easy tie broke. I like that.
All right. Aaron, the floor is yours. Tell us about your tournament.
So first, how many different affiliations do you think I played in the past week?
Played with?
Played with, yes. Played as.
7.
Oh, that was my number.
It's higher.
50.
You're almost there. It's
Okay.
9.
Almost.
I played 9 fucking different affiliations in the past week. That's why my brain is mush. I can't even figure out what the fuck I'm playing anymore.
I would have guessed 5.
Black Order, Cabal, Criminals, Avengers, A-Force, Hellfire, Defenders, Inhumans, and X-Men.
I forgot about your A-Force games.
Yeah. So, it's a lot. Anyway, besides just jamming random games of Marvel, I went down to Wichita with Ryan for Flying Monkey Con, it's a big deal in 40K, and they're trying to grow MCP, so that was kind of cool. The guys were pretty awesome down there. A mix of some people who knew what was going on and some people's first 2 weeks in the game. That was interesting because when they want to move after they pick up a senator token, and I'm like, you can't do that. And they're like, yeah, I can. It says while holding. I'm like, fuck. I don't know in what random forum post. I just know the rule. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, I'm pretty sure they drop tokens within 1. I'm like, oh my god. Please just trust me that it's 2. We can look it up later. But these were timed rounds. And the first round started super late because they were waiting on 2 people. But they didn't change the end time. So we got the 15-minute call in the middle of round 2. So anyway, there were some interesting things. Not that the people that were new were bad in any way, shape, or form. They were great. And it could have been super bad, but they weren't. They just kind of trusted me and okay. So that was nice. But that was a lot of fun. I ended up taking Avengers and tied with another person undefeated 3-0, and I just happened to win on tie breaks. So that was a great time down there. I'm glad Ryan made me go and accompany him down there for a tourney. Anyway, that's it. Cool tourney in Wichita, and I've been playing a lot of shit.
That reminds me of the first year Adepticon had MCP. It was after the COVID shutdown. And in our 3rd round game, our opponents told us at the end of the round that you didn't have to roll on the pay-to-flips to score them. You could just stand next to them. And that the pay-to-flips were just an extra level of scoring that overwrote the standing next to it. And I was like, well, that's not how that works. And I explained that to you during the turn when you were choosing not to interact with them. And so it's a little too late now to try and tell us that you're scoring them when we agreed that you weren't. And he goes, oh, no, I'm a judge, so I'm just telling you how it works. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm staff, so I'm telling you how it works. I'm like, well, I'm going to call an actual judge that's judging this event. Like, well, we don't really have time for that. I'm like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. I was hold on a second. That turned into a 40-minute judge call. And it became pretty obvious at one point they were just trying to stall the game. I was like, oh, God. Yeah, it was a headache. But anyway, I'm glad you had a good time. It sounds like you played several fun opponents.
Yes. Fucking Kingpin was everywhere. At least 40% of the list were Kingpin criminals. Played into them with New Voodoo, which is definitely not as good into Kingpin criminals, because you can't just stop them from counting 2 on secures. You have to displace them or kill them. And when they're playing fucking
All size 3s.
Or 4s, like Juggernaut,
Mhm.
Rhino, Lizard. You're like, yeah, that's not gonna fucking happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that was interesting. Just how did the meta shift like overnight, right? Like Voodoo's worse, got it. How does it actually translate into like a specific matchup? Like, oh, it's really bad actually. And I'm sure there's lots more little anecdotes about that with how the meta has shifted since the errata.
Cool.
Do you think the amount of Kingpin criminals was actually a result of some errata like meta shift, or was that just luck of this tournament?
I think it was just what that meta happened to be running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And it might be something like us where it's like there's the thing that gets played at the local shop and everyone has an understanding like it's what's strong. But then when you go to a tournament, everyone's trying to do well. So they're playing what they perceive to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
And so it might just be that, the strongest player in their meta plays that. Who knows? But I agree. Kingpin is, something you need to be prepared for. It's a big gut check. Especially if you've never played against it before.
Or in 6 months.
Yeah. I remember my game against Kenny. I was like, all right, so we score 3-3. He's like, oh, no, I score 5. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm Kingpin. I'm like, I look down, and I'm like, you have Shadowlands Daredevil, though. And he's like, oh, yeah, but my leader's Kingpin. I'm like,
balls.
Yeah. Well, this is awkward. Oops. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Hopefully you guys have a good time. And this is Brandon.
And Parker.
And Jeremy.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to Parker Mows the Grass.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
Oh boy. Aaron, I have an anecdote for you. I guess it's kind of an anecdote. So normally when I start recording Audacity, well, every time, it tells you how much time you have remaining before your storage system runs out of data, right? So
I understand.
Disk space remaining for recording, blah, blah, and it tells you the time. How much time does yours say?
1,151 hours and some minutes.
Hell yeah. So that tells me that you have probably, I would guess, somewhere around 4 terabytes of storage.
Probably a good bet.
Yeah. So I have 169 hours. Nice. But normally I have like 40, which just means that I have deleted a shit ton of memory stuff from my computer over the last week. Mostly it's because battle reports have been posted. Nice. So I get to delete that.
All I can tell you about storage is do not, under any circumstances, use the cloud. Do not use Dropbox. So when you were when we're getting ready for D&D, you're like, you can always go into the Dropbox if you want to go get the D&D stuff that I've uploaded there. Yeah, and I immediately went, like my butthole clenched a little bit. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do that. How much do I really want D&D books for free?
That shows you the level of technology ignorance that some people have. Because it's just like, I don't want to risk ruining my entire life.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what? What are you talking about? It's like, if I install a regular program that millions and millions of people use, it will ruin my entire life because I don't understand how to use it. Nor can I read any of the buttons and figure that out. It's like, it just blows me away. I think Jeremy is very much the same way. He's like, I'd rather literally go get a master's degree in something else before I was just figure out how to use this app.
I would just look around and find someone to do it for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fight it that hard. I'd just be like, if you want it done, just do it. Or walk me through it. I'll do it, but I wouldn't do it myself and mash it all together and fuck it up.
Yeah. But it's like,
I would not upload my entire system into a cloud. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I know. I trust you not to do that. But if I was like, Jeremy, send me a Discord message, you'd be like, I can't do that.
No.
You're like, what do you
it's
mean
not
you can't do
happening.
that? But it's like,
Risk
how do I do that? It's
risk
like,
reward.
Jeremy, we are
No.
talking voice via Discord. And he's like, yeah, I know that, but like, I don't.
Yep, that sounds right.
I can't do that. I was like, what? I was like,
Yep.
it's just a direct message. You just click the direct messages, click my name,
Nope.
and type what you want. He's like, nah, that's not how that works.
Nope. Don't know
I
where
was
it's
like, what do you
going.
mean it's not how that works? Like, it's just witch doctors in the box. I don't know how it works. Like,
No.
it's like Jeremy.
Losing me. I'm going to have to
Yeah,
log
so
off.
you lost me at anything other than what I'm
I'm going to
actively
go ahead and
doing
turn my
right now.
computer off.
Yeah.
You're like,
I just
what?
hold the power button until I know where everything is
No,
again. And like,
plugging
what the
it.
fuck?
I'll call you on my phone, though. You're like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
It's not working. So anyway, you guys have a good week?
No, not at all. I'll update everyone. I'm sure that
Uh-oh.
they're wondering how the story is continuing. So job update. Hired no one. Nothing new. The saga continues. The robot's functioning at prime condition, however.
Peak robot.
We have relocated it, so now it understands where it's at. It is wandering about the dining room, not doing shit as it's supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know if
And,
we covered what it was doing wrong. Did we cover that on the podcast?
Yeah, last week. I think so.
Did
Yeah,
we?
it, like,
Okay,
geosynced
I didn't
itself
think
or
we talked
whatever.
about it. Yeah,
Um,
it got to this like infinite loop where it was just running a lap around one dining room table.
just
and
wanted to like
didn't
run
know
into
where it
people,
was. Yeah.
knock old people over, shit like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
then
have a question.
tomorrow,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you first.
Oh, tomorrow we have an open house, which I don't know if you know, but on Thursdays between the hours of 10 and 2, we're going to have a mad rush of cooks who are looking for jobs during the hours in which cooks would be cooking. I swear to God. They can't
What
even.
if they're
This is like
exclusively breakfast cooks?
this is the novelization of dumb shit that dumb people do.
Wait, the open house is for employees?
No,
Like it's like a job fair?
it's a job fair. It's a job fair. So
For cooks between the hours of 10 and 2.
yeah, so during lunchtime, so these people who are the amazing cooks looking for a job, who are probably working if they're awesome, would be looking for a job during the hours in which they're cooking. Real smart, right?
Right. It'd be like having a school job fair during school hours when they're
Mhm.
teaching school.
Mhm.
That's dumb. That's
Yep.
dumb and dumb. Yeah.
So
It's
the
like,
intelligent
that's
way
like
to do
having a
it-
job fair for school bus drivers from 3 to 4.
Exactly. No, they should have it between the hours of 1 and 5. Like it should be one of those type deals. But no,
Mhm.
No,
Or in the
they're just
evening.
insane.
Just like, yeah.
or come anytime.
Yeah. Open interviews.
They're like, "Are you going to be available?" I'm like, if someone comes in looking for a job as a cook, I will knock old people over and stab my employees in the neck to get a cook in the door. Like, there is nothing stopping me from interviewing a cook. I will drive 45 minutes from my house at midnight.
To interview you.
God.
Have you considered honestly just going to like a high school and like walking around during their cafeteria lunch hour? Like, anybody need a job? Anybody need a part-time job? Like,
I've considered kidnapping like a 7-year-old and training them until they're like 16, so then they can work for me.
you got to get them young, or else they'll realize what's happening.
Oh, yeah, no, you got to get them real young. That way you can grow them and train them and all that
Mm-hmm.
shit. But by the time they're 16 or 17, they'll be good. I don't know what to do, man.
All right, Aaron, what was your question?
I was going to ask Jeremy if he has herpes.
Sidebar.
Why? Is there something I should know?
No, I was assuming the answer was no. Therefore, I was going to give you a silver lining to the week. But apparently you don't want them.
Oh, my God.
So never mind.
So I was on the line today and I was plating something up or whatever, just normal lunch stuff. And one of my servers came around the corner and she said something along the lines of, "You know what? One of the worst things that can happen is." And I said something.
that's a loaded
I go,
question.
Yeah, and I said, "I'm sure it has something to do with a plan B." And she said, "You mean going to a store and then they don't have any more plan Bs?" And I said, "Why are you saying that with such confidence? That happened to you?" And she's like, "Yep." I'm like, oh my God, where am I working? Oh, that made me laugh today.
Cool. Oh boy. So Aaron, I think it's fair to say that you have hit your preset kill limit. Is that what's happened this week?
I have hit my preset kill limit.
Yeah, because you said your brain was fried. Is that
A little bit? Yeah.
How many games have you played since we last recorded?
24, which is basically on track for 100 a month, which is fucking insane.
Well, and you did say that today you lost 2 of them, yes?
I did lose 2 games today, yes.
Well, that's what's wrong with you.
Is that what's wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the kill
Jesus
limit.
Christ.
He's got shut down now.
Well, it's that I've been traveling like the whole week too. Like I left on Thursday, didn't get back home till Saturday. Went straight back out Sunday and Monday. So I've just been assholes and elbows doing nothing but traveling to play MCP. So it's not like I've had a whole like rough spot in my life. But
I'm telling
I know
you,
something you
just
could fill your week
rent-
with that would suck
Yeah.
more.
would it be not getting herpes working as a cook?
Yes.
Son of a bitch. Nailed it in one.
Okay.
Aaron, you just need to rent like a 10x8 section of my house, and that way you basically are always at home.
You're not wrong.
Doing enough dumb shit, it could happen.
3 more years, I won't have kids. Probably still have a wife.
I'm pretty sure those kids still remain yours. I don't think that's a part of
Yeah,
the
I was gonna say,
contract.
like,
When they're 18,
kinda-
they're all
At-
18. See ya.
At
Dead
home,
to you.
fiscally responsible for them.
Oh, gotcha.
No, when we get like further into the cast, we can talk about Flying Monkey. That was interesting.
Okay. Parker, I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, / did your homework.
I have not yet got to listen to it.
Okay.
No. It's on my list.
I can definitely tell where the work ethic is, and I can see why Jeremy hasn't offered you a job as a cook yet.
Oh,
20
Jeremy
demerits.
has. Jeremy
20
would,
merits.
Jeremy would definitely not offer me a job as a cook.
That's interesting. So maybe from now on, when Parker misses an episode, it's 100 episode penalty. But if he listens to the recording in full by the next episode, it's only 1.
Ooh.
And then we'll quiz him.
So
But anyway,
I don't know. I think I'm probably off base here. I think it's kind of like my responsibility to listen to an episode of a cast I'm on that I miss.
that's kind of the
That's true.
indication.
But see, you were giving him shit. I was telling him like he was actually
This
wrong.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do listen to all of them. It really was just I usually listen to them at times when I can listen to the whole cast. I don't like listening to them like 5 minutes at a time, and so I just didn't have that opportunity this weekend.
You have the
So
less
anyway.
than an hour and a half commute. Okay.
I
do have like a 10-minute commute to work. Yeah.
I feel like I was attacked. So basically, others are envious of my greatness and my ability to absolutely fucking kill movie tiers. So I think I definitely have set the record. I think it's like 370 wins in a row, which is the level of excellence I strive for. However, Jeremy was getting very upset that he wasn't able to win. And I tried to explain to him that if you're either first or last, and that I couldn't let him win because then I couldn't win. And so he conspired with Aaron to set up a system of rules that would prevent me from winning the movie tiers. And they forced me to pick last in my own movie tier. And they looked up the most popular movies online in the category and chose them before I got to pick. Conveniently, that didn't help them at all. I still fucking destroyed them, but they tried. They tried to bring me down, and so just letting you know, Parker, they're going to come for you next.
Okay.
We apologize for trying to take down the king of the nerds. We just can't do it. You are the greatness is just too much.
Stop! I'm about to throw up.
In related news of my greatness, I accidentally won an NFL Survivor pool.
Did you? Did you win that?
I did. So half the people lost in the first week because they bet on some stupid fucking team. And then I actually selected the wrong team by mistake when I set my lineup in the final week. And so the team I actually was planning to pick for the Survivor pool lost their game. But because I clicked the wrong button, I actually won, and everybody else got eliminated.
Better to be
So,
lucky
yeah.
than good.
Fucking killing it, dude. I can't lose. Yeah. All right. So Parker, I don't know if you saw in the Discord, but we're doing Christmas movies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm locked and loaded. I gave a thumbs up. I thought I did.
I don't usually go back and check those.
Okay. Yep. I'm so good to go. My as per usual, I discussed it with my wife, and she was excited to know what the list was going to be this week. And after I got done making my list, she said, "Do people like come to expect that you pick these like strange niche like movies that probably have a lot less viewership?" Like, I was like, "Yep, I think people expect it by now." And if I did anything else now, I think I'd be letting the fans down. I don't think I could pick movies that people care about. I have to pick these small movies. I really enjoy them.
And so, just confirming, we're not doing holiday movies. We're doing specifically Christmas movies.
Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I had something happen.
Okay.
I was at work, and one of the residents said the word bailiwick to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just nailed it
good word.
in one.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch.
Am I being punked? You're
Yeah,
you're
and I
looking
was
at the
like-
camera? Like,
And what was crazy is it was like right after we had said something. It was after a podcast or something where we had mentioned it. And I was like, I go, this has now happened twice, 2 days in a row, where the word bailiwick has been used
Mhm.
in my life. I was like, this is insane. Just, it was a trip. So weird.
I want you to know I'm mad
Totally.
jealous because I think the only place that you could encounter bailiwick more is in the bailiwick, and so I am.
mhm.
I feel like you have gotten closer
Yeah.
to the experience than I ever
Yep.
will, and I'm pretty jealous.
I'm sure it's because they fill out New York Times crosswords.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would guess that that's where that comes up. But, because no one uses that.
Except exactly the bailiwick of Guernsey, which is
That's it.
Yeah.
How's our viewership doing? Like, have we trended? Like,
I think we got the virus. Yeah.
yeah, like, does Taylor Swift know about us yet?
No.
Damn it.
well, we can't do anything until until Taylor Swift knows about us and shows up at one of our
I mean,
events.
we are Swifties.
I am not a Swiftie.
hold on a second, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I am a Guernsey. I am not a Swiftie. Solidly in the
When I
Guernsey
said her
camp.
name, you knew who she was. Don't pretend.
I think there are people in Guernsey who know who she is. I think you can be across the sea and know who
If you
Taylor
say her
Swift
name
is.
3 times, her song will play.
I don't think she's that powerful.
Shh. She will have us canceled.
That I do believe she could do.
Do not fuck around, man. These people are serious.
I believe absolutely in the blink of an eye she could destroy this podcast if she wanted to.
We'll be stomped down like dog shit.
Yeah, it will be so fast.
What are you guys talking about? I got distracted.
We don't want to be
Jeremy's
smashed under Taylor Swift's giant thumb of justice.
Yeah, don't piss off idols. Like that's generally a good way to get fucking shut down. Boy. So I was looking up a movie that I was pretty sure it was a Thanksgiving movie and not a Christmas movie, and I was correct. Unfortunately, you cannot pick Dutch. I really want to pick Dutch.
Or planes, trains, automobiles. That's also Thanksgiving.
Planes, Trains, Automobiles is solid.
Mhm.
I think that was technically the first movie I owned. But in my normal family fashion, it was due to a mistake. They bought me the movie Runaway with Tom Selleck, which has hardcore nudity in it. They didn't realize that because they didn't bother to actually pick the movie out. They just grabbed a random movie at Blockbuster that was on sale and bought it for me for Christmas.
Oh my
And so we put it in on Christmas and we're watching it and there's like a bunch of hookers. They're all topless. And it's like, oh shit! So they take it out. And they just swap it for another movie that they have in their bedroom. It's like, this is your Christmas present. So I got planes, trains, and automobiles for Christmas.
Man. Every time. Just when I think your family couldn't get any sadder, you go and say a story like this.
Dude, it was legit. That was the first time I ever stayed up all night. I was so excited for Christmas. We went somewhere, I think it was Florida. We went to Florida for vacation and drove home on like Christmas Eve. And so we drove from Florida to Monon, Indiana, which I don't know if you know where Monon is. It's about 45 minutes east of Reynolds.
Oh, you're talking about Monon? Is that the metropolis? Yeah. Wow.
Oh, no, it's Metropolis, not the correct term. Yeah. I think it had 400 people in it. They had one school. It was K through 12. Anyway, we get home and we leave like the day before Christmas. We get home like the day after Christmas. So we've already missed Christmas. So we get home, it's like 8 p.m. and we've been driving for like 3 fucking days, right? And we get in and we come in. There's all the presents under the tree. We have this big present opening. We're not done opening presents till after midnight. It's super fun. I put on movies like, blah, blah, blah. And then I stay up all night playing with my toys. And at like, because this is really early. I think I was like 8 or 10. And then we go over to my stepdad's mom's house. And I literally fell asleep into my food at fucking lunch. Like, I was so fucking tired.
Wow.
Because I was staying up all night. I literally fell asleep into my food. But yeah, that was fun times.
I remember the first time I stayed up. It was for a sleepover. It was the very first time I ever saw like a LAN party where all of us were in the same room at the same time. So I was in middle school. They hooked up 6 computers all at the same time, and we played. Some of the computers just had it was like a PlayStation in one side of the room, and then a bunch of computers hooked up, and all the computers were playing Counter-Strike. And the PlayStation had Masters of Tereska C, that 3D like Tekken knockoff that was skinned with Star Wars. It was all Star Wars characters.
No idea.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars Masters of Tereska C was a fighting game on the original PlayStation. So
it's like Vader versus Tarkin.
No, it had like ones you imagine, like Bounty. It had like Boba Fett and IG-88 and Yoda and Luke, yeah. And so it had just like the All Stars, and it was very much the speed of Tekken, that kind of fight. And I remember I played that game for probably 6 hours just without stopping, and people were playing Counter-Strike behind me, and every once in a while they get tired of Counter-Strike, somebody would come and play against me, but I just played against a computer when nobody was playing against me, and I did not sleep that night. I played a little bit of Counter-Strike, but I was not a big FPS fan at that point. That was the first time I remember never going to sleep, and I just stayed up and played video games for a whole solid night. I will never forget doing that. It was awesome.
Sounds good.
Jeremy and Aaron have never stayed up the entire night, so that's why they can't comment. They've never once tried that.
I think Jeremy stayed up all night before.
I've done it twice.
Just twice?
Yes.
I've done it twice in a row.
No, thank you.
I've done it twice.
I think I could do 4. I think I could stay up for 4 days, not sleep for 3 nights, but I think I would have to have people helping me.
I would say, I think that's when you start. I think on day 2 you start to like hallucinate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get well, at least for me, you get very, very, very minor sporadic hallucinations after 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
The 3rd day, though, you'll start seeing some shit.
I used to take speed to stay up all night.
Yeah. Well, that was instructed by your supervisor, right?
This is a true statement.
Yeah.
Because you had to man the nuclear vessels? Like, what was the
nuclear
you
vessels?
don't want to fall asleep while flying.
Yeah, it's bad. # not recommended.
Yeah. Strong recommend not falling asleep while flying.
Right.
Yeah.
Although the biggest risk is probably that you run out of fuel.
That's why you refuel in the air. Constant gas.
That's hard to do while you're asleep.
Also
Can I ask, like, what were you flying for? Like, why were you not landing? Like, what did you need to fly through the night for?
I feel like we don't know each other.
Okay.
I used to fly stealth bombers.
Okay.
and we would take off. We'd fly to like the middle of country X, bomb the shit out of them, come back.
Mhm.
It's like so the longest mission was 44 hours, and that's from takeoff to landing.
Ugh.
Is that yours or is that the?
That is not mine. That is the longest on record.
I knew about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because they land. Yeah,
they
they landed and they put a new crew in the plane, right?
No,
To fly it home.
no, they took
Oh,
off
okay.
from Whiteman and land at
Mhm.
Whiteman in the middle of Missouri.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay,
and so you
That's
figure
crazy.
the 44-hour flight time, back that up 12 hours from the time they got up that day and prepped, right?
Yeah.
And then they land and then they debrief and then they go home. So they've been up for like, I don't know, 60, 65 hours straight. So you do that with drugs.
Yeah.
That's some Jacob's
Um,
Ladder shit.
yeah.
That's
There's
your
two
friends have
people in
horns.
each V2, right?
There are 2 people.
Yeah.
There is no sleeping quarters. It's just 2 chairs.
Yeah.
So they don't have, and both pilots are required to be there. So it's not like they have a spare crew that they can hop in.
Yeah,
and-
you can't have one guy just chilling.
Yeah. So, and then as soon as you enter enemy country, then you're both up in the seats. You can kind of curl up in the little tiny spot, like where the stairs fold into the jet. So up until a certain point, it's possible to get a few hours of sleep, but you're required to both be awake and at the controls when you're refueling, and then obviously once you start to hit bad guy territory.
Is there anything other than like colostomy bags?
There is a tiny toilet. Yes.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
It's better
I'll-
than pissing in a bag.
That actually fascinates me.
Yes.
I'm surprised they actually would put a toilet, like spare that
Well,
amenity, right?
It is a plane that's designed to take off and fly international and then come back. So I think the planned trip time is like 20 plus hours.
We're talking
Right.
like an open, like it's a seat
Hmm.
Mhm.
with like 2 inches of space in like a 12 by 12 pan underneath this hole.
Mhm.
Like we're not talking flushable
Okay.
separate quarters. We're talking like right
like
behind the right seater.
Bedpan in director's chair.
Yes,
It's a
that's what it
bedpan.
is.
Got it.
Yeah. So they make you make might be a strong word, but you have to take the amphetamines, and then as well they have what's called no-go pills, which are pills that are supposed to just put you to sleep, so they can fuck with your sleep schedule to get you on the right one for your mission.
Yeah.
And then you have to.
Because they're like, we know you're going to leave in 18 hours. You're like, yeah, but I can't go to sleep at 2 p.m. You're like,
Right.
well,
They're
we
like-
can help with that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. That's not going to be the problem.
Yeah. The go
It's-
pills where the amphetamine was very, very controlled, so they didn't just give them to you whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to answer your question, that's why I took them, was because flying a $2 billion jet, and they didn't want us to fucking crash it.
Well, yeah.
Let alone fail your mission.
Or that, yeah. But even for like the training missions, you have to do about one 24-hour mission a year to kind of keep current with the long duration sorties. So on those was the only time I actually took them, because I never actually got to go to combat.
Alrighty.
Fascinating. A little bit different than my staying up stories. A little bit.
I mean, I did some of your staying up stories when I was younger too, so
Oh, okay.
I have been there, done that.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. You guys ready to go?
For sure.
So ready.
All right, let me just crack a fresh one here. All right. Get timestamp. You don't like Parmesan cheese?
It's good.
Have you ever made carbonara?
Yes.
I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
When I put the cheese in with the egg, after I stir it all up, it's still like cheese. Like it's not cream, it's just cheese. Is it not hot enough to melt the cheese?
Are you putting cream in there or anything like that, or what?
No, I'm just doing eggs and cheese because that's what it said to do. I watch videos. Like traditional carbonara.
Okay. I usually make
So-
mine with a little bit of cream. Melt the
You
cheese
put a
in
little
with
bit in
cream.
there with it.
Yeah.
Okay. See, everyone's like, be very careful not to keep the heat too high because you'll end up making scrambled eggs.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
wanna
if you're
do
that's
but
a
I think
whole.
my heat's too low and so the cheese isn't melting, and so it is kind of creamy, but as soon as the heat comes down, it separates again. And so I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, that's just a bit weird. I stopped trying to make that kind of stuff. Like, I just add a little cream, some Parmesan. I don't mess with the egg stuff in it. There's no point, really. The same flavors come out with the other stuff. Make more of Alfredo.
Parker, can you eat chili?
Yes, why?
I was going to make chili for the next couple D&D games.
Yes, I can absolutely eat chili. Can I? Well, I will not be at the next one.
I know you won't.
But I specifically love a saltine cracker with chili. So I'll bring them if...
I don't allow saltines in my house.
Then I will not be coming.
Okay.
I have left my own house before because we didn't have saltines. I've just been like, that's it. I'm not eating. I gotta go get saltines.
Have you ever left saltines like for like 2 years on accident, and then you found like a box that was
You're like, I have crackers. And you
like
go to eat them.
And you open it up, and it tastes like the inside of
cardboard.
a coffin.
It's just cardboard.
No, it just tastes like old dead things. Like, it's horrible.
Oh, you mean like an open sleeve?
No. Like completely
it
closed.
Was still sealed?
Yeah.
Say saltines last a long fucking time.
They lasted probably about a year. No more than that.
I can tell you that happened to me never until I had children, because my children will eat like part of a sleeve and leave 3 saltines in the bottom of a sleeve in like a random cabinet spot, and so I'll be cleaning and I'll be like, son of a bitch. Somebody left 4 saltines there. They should have been.
That's how you get ants.
I should have been eating these.
Do you guys know what happens if you leave milk in the fridge for like way too long?
I have kids, yes.
Cheese?
No. So it starts to expand, right? The milk jug will begin to expand. And that's one of the reasons they put that little ring on the side. It's like that button. So the button will pop out to allow for the expanding gas. So
that's not why that's there.
That's why it's there.
It's there if you drop it and it doesn't fucking explode. But go ahead.
It's definitely there for that exact reason. So anyway, do you know what happens after it expands?
What? Tell us.
It starts to contract.
Ew.
And that's what really, really surprised me. I was like, all right, well, it's just going to explode one day. And so it got so bad that I like put it in a bag. I put it back in the fridge. So
was
that way if it
on
exploded.
What the fuck were you doing?
No. This was my first apartment. And so I was like, well, I want to throw this away, but I don't want to put it in the garbage can and have it explode and have it smell up the kitchen. And I'm not going to take it to the dumpster because it's like midnight. Like, I don't want to go outside. So I just put it in a plastic bag, tied the bag. And then, of course, I forgot about it the next day. And then I don't open the fridge for 2 more weeks. And so I was like, oh, and then I go back in. It's like, so it just continues to shrink, right? And it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And it's like vacuuming in the container. And it's like pulling it in because all of the gas is being absorbed by the liquid. I don't understand any of it, but it just vacuums into this little like compressed container. It looks like it's been wadded up by like a giant. And then, do you know what happens then? If you keep leaving it in there.
The state comes.
No, because it's still sealed. Like the cap's on it, like it's sealed. It's not letting air out. And I assume there's some kind of crust on the inside of it at this point. It starts to expand again. It expands back to like a balloon. We left a jug of milk in my first apartment for 3.5 years.
Oh my god.
We were just afraid to move it at that point. Like, it might explode. Like, let's just leave it. But yeah, so if you leave a jug of milk in your refrigerator long enough, it turns into that Windows 95 screensaver where it's like balloons and spikes, and it just goes back and forth between balloons and spikes.
Oh my god.
That's what milk does. Aaron's like, Jesus Christ.
I leave for 2 minutes.
All right, let's see. It's 1.08.20.
Didn't mean you had to stop.
Fescue.
Ugh. Wait, you do realize that I don't...
I do know, yes.
Okay.
I'm quite certain I've done this one before, but I'm going to read it again just to confirm, because I don't want to risk it not being on the podcast at some point. Jeremy, did you hear that insurance companies are warning campers if your tent is stolen, you won't be covered?
Are we ready for movies?
That's a bit brain melting.
I don't understand why you're upset. That's solid gold.
Everybody's upset.
Everyone's upset.
People are turning us off right now.
Parker, you're a teacher,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when is 1 + 1 3?
I don't know.
When you forget to wear a condom.
Oh my god.
Is that true, Parker? You are a teacher.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't know why I didn't consider that basic math.
They never taught me that in school.
Yeah, I never know.
You always have to learn that math the hard way.
That's why I'm at where I am today.
I've absolutely taught health and I've absolutely taught sex ed. I never told that joke, and now I understand that I made a mistake.
Okay, so I get to go first this time, right?
No,
Why not?
because you won last time.
But you were supposed to go first for winning.
Nope.
Why are you trying to take this away from me?
That's the one joy I have on Wednesday nights.
Okay, so what position should you get to go in if you won the previous week?
If you were last, you go first.
But I went last time and I won.
Well, do it 4 more weeks, and then you could just own,
And then
own
we
the
get
fucking
to go back
world,
to me going first.
right? Yeah. Parker gets to go first this week.
Oh, well, what a waste.
Christmas movies, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. The best Christmas movie for me, no doubt, Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Chevy Chase classic.
Fuckhead.
That was going to be my first pick as well, but someone didn't allow me to go first.
Yeah.
Is the house on fire, Clark? Is Rusty
All
still
right.
in the name?
Arbitrarily chosen, because I don't want to retype your names. Jeremy, you're next.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh, that was on my list.
Now, Jeremy, I actually have to ask, why? I'm not saying you're wrong, but why do you like that movie?
Why do you like that movie?
Really?
I've never seen the enchantment that everyone gets with it, and it's not
It's
a
the
bad
aesthetics.
movie. I don't think
It's the aesthetics
poor,
of
but
the
I've
whole thing.
So many people I know love that movie.
The visuals of Tim Burton, his drawing and his art style are just fucking phenomenal. Like, I love it. I don't necessarily like his storytelling, but I love the visuals.
Okay.
For me, as a kid watching it, it made a musical fun in a way that only a Disney movie can, usually.
But it
and
was
so,
yeah.
Right, because it broke the standard of like it's not super corny, it's new and fresh, and so it added this whole new aspect to a heartwarming Christmas movie by starting in a very deranged place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why I like it. Aaron, you are up.
I stayed away from all of what I would consider movies that happen to take place around Christmas time, like First Blood.
First Blood, yeah,
right.
Okay.
So anyway,
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I could, like we're gonna get there if you guys take the rest of my list.
Yep.
But
Mm-hmm.
number 1 by far is The Ref.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys watched?
Okay.
Have you guys watched that movie?
Yep.
Okay.
I have
good.
not. I have not.
You would really like this movie, Brandon.
What's it about?
Yeah,
it is
you
a
would like this
dark
movie a lot.
comedy.
Ooh.
Dennis Leary.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You should
I'll put it on
you
the
should
list.
watch this fucking movie. You would like it.
Just REF.
Yeah, the REF.
All right. So I can only imagine, because this made it to me, that I'm about to get yelled at. So I'm preparing
Oh
myself.
God!
for
If
the
you say
screaming.
Die Hard, it's fucking
Die
over.
Hard.
Don't you
Why
do
I
it?
prefaced mine.
Die Hard.
No.
It is a Christmas movie.
No,
I'm taking
it's not.
it.
It's an
No,
action movie.
We'll let the people decide.
Okay.
It is. If you get to pick all your fucking stupid movies that weren't even close to the right genre, I'm taking this. It is 100% a Christmas movie in my mind.
It's an action movie.
We're pushing the chips in. All right, I get a second pick now. Now, see, I'm very torn on if I should choose a movie that I think you guys are going to take before it comes back to me. Or
Predator?
what I would actually... Yeah, it's Predator's number 2. Yeah. No, but should I choose what is actually my favorite, or should I choose what I think you guys are going to pick?
Well, I chose the ref knowing none of you were going to pick it because it is my favorite.
All right, so I'm going to choose what is next on my tier list. I'm going to go with Scrooged.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Bill Murray has a bunch of Christmas classics, but Scrooged is
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it back to me?
Yeah.
The Santa Claus.
That was also on my list.
That's one of those that you can't recapture it. I showed my girls that movie and they love it. Watching it as an adult, I was like, wow, this is a bad movie. But
what?
Really, I haven't seen it in a long time.
As an adult watching it with my kids,
maybe
I was
won't
like,
rewatch
wow,
it.
this movie is so bad. But every single scene, I'm remembering how much I loved it as a child. Like, I was able to suspend like my adult opinion of it and really enjoy it. So I totally get what you're coming at. It's a really fun movie to watch because I watched it when I was, 11 or 12 or whatever it was, and I didn't lose that watching it again, but I had to ignore what I knew about movies to enjoy it.
I would even say adults could enjoy it watching it for the first time. So there's part of being younger and it being your first time.
Yeah, obviously, if you're watching it from a place of critical, then it's going to have a lot of holes. But it
is novel for sure. It is fun.
Okay, Jeremy.
I just get one, right?
Yeah, just one
at this point. So far, these are ones that I've seen in the theater when they came out. So this will be another one. Home Alone. That's one I watch with my kids.
Son of a bitch! I knew you were going to take it.
These are in my.
That's not a Christmas movie. It just takes place on Christmas. It's
fuck
not
you.
The same thing.
I have a whole pile of Christmas movies that I pull out of a box during Christmas time.
Says man who picked Die Hard.
That was my pushback. Like your movies are Christmas movies.
Shit.
I mean, Die Hard was like number 8 on my list if I had to get there.
If you must. I've got Eyes Wide Shut if we get that deep, okay? Motherfucker, we'll go Stanley Kubrick on this fuck.
Oh, we doing favorite movies of all time? Because it might be number 1.
Okay. After Home Alone, we have Parker. You get back-to-back picks.
Okay, I'm going to go with one of them super Christmassy, and the other one is kind of tangential, kind of like Die Hard. But my super Christmas one that I have to watch every year, and I always love it, is the Muppet Christmas Carol. I love Dickens. I love him, and I feel like the Muppets does the best tongue-in-cheek version of it. Dickens was very gimmicky and tongue-in-cheek and fun, and so I love the Muppet version because I think it captures the essence of it. It's also another fun musical. The music in it is not terrible.
Dude, it is so good. I can watch that one every year. Love that
Christmas
one.
Carol. And then my last one is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I didn't know when I was ever going to get to put it in, and it does have Christmas in it. It's not the key feature of it, but I love it, and that's Edward Scissorhands. It's another Tim Burton. That's why I asked you a little bit. I wanted to know about what you thought about Tim Burton. I feel like Edward Scissorhands is Tim Burton's absolute masterpiece. It is him being the maximum him. Pinnacle of his achievements. Okay. I love that movie so much.
So, Parker, did you see Spirited?
I'm gonna look.
It is Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yes. No, I have not seen Spirited yet.
Okay,
no.
Talking about your Dickens, Muppet stuff. I didn't pick Spirited this time because I picked it last time for my Will Ferrell movie. Mm-hmm. But if you are interested in the Dickensian lore, you should watch that one.
Okay, I have not seen it.
Sorry, how is Edward Scissorhands during Christmas? It's not.
Yeah, yes, it is. It's during. It takes place entirely during Christmas time, and one of the big plot points of the film is that the main character, Christina Ricci, doesn't like that her town is so perfect. It never has snow. It never snows there because the climate is so perfect, and so on Christmas, when there should be snow, all of a sudden she looks outside, and because the lights are up and the trees are up, and it starts snowing out her window, and she doesn't know why until she goes outside, and Edward is carving an ice sculpture. And it's creating like snow flurry, and she does this awesome magical slow motion take with this huge score. I think the score for that movie is
that's at the end.
What?
That's at the end.
Yeah, it's near the very end of the movie.
At the very, very, very end. That's not Christmas. That's Christmas Day. That's like Christmas at the very end.
Well, there's multiple things that happen in the movie, and one of the things is Christmas. Is that not most Christmas movies
No,
are?
I'm just like,
Jeremy, if you're attempting to start a veto vote, just say so.
I'm attempting a veto vote.
Okay.
I agree with Jeremy.
I wish I could back Parker up, but I haven't seen it.
No,
until
I'm
right.
honestly trying to remember, like, there isn't any Christmas trees, there isn't any presents, there isn't any Santa Claus. It's just the very end. Yes, there's a romantic scene where she's outside dancing and talking about kind of like, we never have snow during the winter, and it's because he's supposed to be at the castle carving ice.
I also have not seen it. Do
Oh my
they
God.
say Merry Christmas?
Okay, never mind. Parker, you can have it. These motherfuckers haven't even seen it.
Okay.
So it's fine. It's fine, dude. I love the movie.
Hold
Let's
on,
get it
wait,
involved.
Wait. No. Do they say Merry Christmas?
No, they do not. It's a typical.
Is it just implied that
I
it
know-
is Christmas time?
I know there's a
Because
scene
it could be
in
just
which-
December 3rd.
I know
Like,
there's a
who
scene,
knows?
and I wish I knew the dialogue. There's a scene when the Christina Rich's character is talking to her mother character, and they're talking while they're decorating the Christmas tree. And so, like, I can't remember what the conversation is about, though. I know there is a scene in it where they are decorating the Christmas tree. I know when she notices the snow falling out the window, it's like the Christmas lights are up.
Okay,
I just-
I'm on Yahoo. I'm on Yahoo.
Yeah,
I have the answer.
It seems
All right,
that it is generally classified as a non-traditional Christmas movie along with Die Hard and Gremlins.
The last third of the film takes place at Christmas time. So if Die Hard counts, I
Okay.
think we have to give him Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Again, I
Fair enough.
started off saying all of my quote unquote non-Christmas ones were like pushed down so I could make
You know what,
actual
though? I
Christmas
mean,
movies real.
If it's one that people watch during Christmas time and enjoy it, it's whatever. I just
Yep, I'm with you.
I don't remember.
No,
it
I'm
as
definitely
that.
fine with him picking it at this point because according to the internet, it is considered in that group.
According to the
But
internet.
also, no one's going to vote for it, so I'm very okay with that.
It's
Okay, Jeremy,
fine.
give us your
It's fine.
actual Christmas movie pick.
Yeah, Jeremy, hit us with some knowledge.
Let's see which one has not been taken. Damn it!
Don't
you took
take mine.
If you take the next one on my list, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Okay, so I'm just gonna another one I own that we watch every single year. I'm not gonna choose one that you guys are gonna choose. It's a newer one that we love, as me and my boys love, and it's the Grinch, the new animated one. It's fucking
It's
awesome.
fantastic.
With the animated one you said?
Yeah, it's the voice of
Okay.
what's his name?
It's called Dr. Seuss's The Grinch is the name of the
Yeah, and it has Doctor Strange does the voice of that guy. I
Benedict
think.
Cumberbatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the fourth movie on my list, Jeremy, and the only reason why Edward Scissorhands won is I love that movie so much in general. I had to put it on. But
Yep, saw that one at the theater too.
yeah,
I'm
it is
old.
it is an absolute fantastic movie. I love it.
It's so clever and cute and just right. Like it's
It's
just so good.
it's by far the best version of that.
Yeah.
Not even close, in my opinion.
Aaron, your final pick.
So the only movie that we watch every Christmas, White Christmas.
I've
That's
never
the-
actually seen it.
Oh my God, 1954. So you're aware of like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, right?
Yes.
At the very end, when he's like, what's he scream? He's like, it'll be like the rip roaringest good
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
ever since, Bing
Ben
Crosby danced with
yeah.
Danny fucking Kaye. That's the
Yeah.
movie. It's White Christmas. It's Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. It is as wholesome as you can get because it's 1954. I think that's whatever. It's the
Mhm.
fifth to 50s. It is a musical. It is just good, wholesome Christmas movie.
That sounds terrible.
Depends what you're in the mood for, right? But if you
Eyes
want
Wide
Die
Shut.
Hard, it's not the movie for you. If you want to sit down and like put on the Christmas music and decorate the tree and have something in the background, the typical Miracle on 34th Street, A Christmas
Yeah.
Wish, all that stuff.
Christmas Story.
That is the one. That is the actual like feel good Christmas movie. I am happy to have in the background. And it is
Yep.
really good. I like it. So White Christmas.
Cool. All right, you guys left me a couple choices here.
There's only one correct one.
Reindeer Games.
I haven't seen that.
It's actually pretty good. It's just not.
The
It's not great.
the answer is Batman Returns.
Oh.
No.
Tim Burton's taking the show.
Mm.
It's
Tim
the
Burton has
only
a
one.
fascination with winter for sure.
Aaron, is it 3 letters?
It is not 3 letters.
Oh, okay.
I'm amazed no one took that one.
Batman Returns.
No,
Or
not
Elf.
Batman Returns. I
It's
just
the only one
realized-
with Alan Rickman and Keira Knightley.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
That's another kind of tangential one. Like, it's not important that it is, but it is.
Which movie is that?
Mm,
Let's wait till the end. We'll spoil.
yeah, I'll tell
Well,
you.
I don't think I've seen it. I won't pick a movie I haven't seen.
Love Actually.
I have not seen it.
It's kind of like Edward Scissorhands. It's not
Mhm.
important that Christmas is in it, but it is.
It's more important than I think in Edward Scissorhands. Like, it is a central theme to. I don't know. You should watch it. It's worth watching.
I think I'm gonna go.
They're gonna get so mad if we don't pick Christmas Story. I swear to God, we're gonna get fucking rant. They're gonna
No,
get so
I-
mad.
it's bad.
I've got White Christmas. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
we're
it's-
okay.
Yes, it's in that genre. We're good.
No, yeah, we're not taking that. We also have Santa Claus, which is pretty tropey.
And we have Christmas Vacation. That's one that's
Yeah.
every year.
No, I think we're fine on that. It's basically a toss up between Elf and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
You can't do
I think I'm
planes,
gonna go-
trains. That's
I
not
think-
Christmas.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Elf. I thought it was.
We already did
he's
Elf.
trying to get.
I did it.
I didn't do Elf.
I
He did
did.
Elf.
I thought Elf was off the list. Come on now.
Nope.
We make up the rules every time we cast. We're good.
No, you just can't pick the same movie twice.
Yeah, Elf
Or
is
at
in
least
my
not
pile.
twice close to each other. Maybe if we put more time between it.
I don't know why I didn't pick Elf, because I don't think there's a movie I quote as much as that, except maybe Dumb and Dumber. I quote Elf so much in my life. It's one of those quotable movies I've ever seen.
So, Parker, you haven't listened to the podcast because you don't do your homework, which makes you a bad teacher. But we had a handshake agreement last time that whoever won would choose Christmas movies, because we had a conversation during the movie selection that, God, we're choosing all these Christmas movies. So we're like, we're going to choose Christmas next time. So that gave me an idea. We should agree to do Jim Carrey movies next time.
No.
No? Okay. It's vetoed. All right, cool. We got it.
All right, let's go.
You don't.
My-
We gotta go to Burley.
My
Come on.
list is by far the shortest. It's like half as long as fucking
Aaron.
Parker's.
Did you
Aaron,
put Predators on mine? Predators with an S.
Predators. Okay.
Aaron,
Do
do
you
you not
wanna
want Jim
replace,
Carrey because
Fight
you
Club.
haven't seen one?
No, because his movies
He
are
doesn't
fucking
like Jim Carrey.
stupid.
Generally, his movies are stupid. The number 23 is really fun if you like going crazy.
Sure. When the list of acceptable answers can be counted on one hand, and there's 12 that need to go in there.
Oh, no, I disagree with that. Like, Dumb and Dumber is solid gold. Ace Ventura, both Ace Venturas are solid gold. But that's why it's a race. You gotta get the good ones.
Yeah. Son of the Mask.
Son
Okay,
of
well,
that.
that's
Is he even
trash.
in that?
Those
He
are
was not
trash.
Is
in
he
that.
even in
Mask
that?
is
He wasn't in
trash.
Son of the Mask.
So I think off the top
The
of my
Masked TV
head,
show.
the best one is the one where he couldn't lie.
Liar,
Liar.
liar.
Yeah,
That
there you
movie
go.
is not great. It's fine. It's a fine family movie, but it's definitely not the best Jim Carrey movie. Me, Myself, and Irene is fun.
That one is pretty funny.
When he shoots the cow like 20 times in the head because he's trying to put it out of his misery, and then he shot it already. So now he's actually trying to put it out of his misery, and it doesn't die. He just keeps shooting it. Oh my God. It was so
I'm
I would
sorry.
rather open the aperture for like best Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell, or Adam Sandler movies.
Mhm.
That's just me. I mean, obviously, whoever wins can pick whatever the fuck they want.
I'm sorry. I love the Truman Show, and I will always love the Truman Show.
Yeah, Truman Show's good. Oh man, that makes me just want to keep winning, to keep picking categories Aaron hates. He's like, God damn it.
Wait,
Why
so
are we fucking choosing
just
John
out, just
C.
out of
Reilly
curiosity,
movies?
there are some major genres we never went to. Is just because most of us
Yeah.
haven't seen them.
I just like breaking it up.
Okay.
If
Brief
you win, you
nudity,
pick your own fucking category.
1980s brief nudity,
Possible nudity
possible
scenes.
nudity scenes,
Yeah.
Full male
hanging
butt cheek.
dong,
Yeah.
Shows
I also
dong.
would like to do
shows
fictional
dick.
movies. Yeah, he hangs dong.
Hangs dong. That's what it is.
No.
Hangs dong.
What if we did one of fictional movies where they're movies from movies that weren't actually movies, or like from media in general? It's like when people tell me, "Oh, we went to see like Scorcher 6 from Tropic Thunder," that was like a spoof movie in their movie that wasn't really a movie. Like do like the movies you'd want to see. Like I want to see Scorcher 6 and Thunder Gun Express. It's like my two. Like that could be fun.
That's pretty obscure. All right, we
It
need to
is
wrap this
very
up, or I'm not going to be able to be awake tomorrow night. Come on.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.
Bah.